Chapter 1655. Su Yang held a small knife in his hand. The blade was as thin as a cicada's wing. The saber rose and fell, but there was not a single drop of blood on it. It had to be said that every piece of meat he cut was very thin and placed neatly on a plate. Sima Yue felt that she might not eat beef hot pot for a long time. The 10th elder lay on the ground. There was no fear of death in his eyes, only anger. She was especially excited when she saw Sima Yue walk in. "You better not be so agitated." Sima Yue walked over. "Many of your blood vessels are already broken. If you get too agitated, it will speed up the blood flow and increase the burden on your heart. You will be closer to death." "I didn't think that there would be a time when we would be pecked in the eye by an eagle," the 10th elder said through gritted teeth. "Don't you know that you will run into ghosts if you walk at night for too long?" Sima Yue said calmly, "Not everyone is someone you can afford to offend." "Do you think you are?" The 10th elder knew her identity. She was just an outsider who didn't even have a number here. "Am I not?" Sima Yue smiled. "I'll let you know what it's like to kick an iron plate." "Humph, don't think that you can do anything to my family just because you set me up. You're nothing here." The 10th elder was very confident in his clan. "I know, but I didn't say that I would do it myself." Sima Yue said, "You guys have locked up so many geniuses for so long. You definitely won't be merciful when you take revenge. Those are just people who have some talent in a certain field. In terms of strength, what are they? You can't underestimate the power of anger. However, you won't be able to see the day your family is destroyed." Sima Yue said. At this time, Feng Xiang walked in and said, "Miss, it's all settled." "Okay, got it." Sima Yue nodded at her. When the 10th elder saw Feng Xiang, his eyes showed true fear. How could it be you? The Hao family is really something. They even dare to touch the young miss of the Feng people." Feng Xiang humphed coldly. "She is the daughter of the Feng people? Impossible. She was just a member of a small family. How could she be the young miss of Feng people? She is not one of the Feng people's people." The 10th elder shouted in horror. Open your dog eyes wider in your next life," Feng Xiang said, and then said to Sima Yue, "Miss, I just heard that the Hao family is colluding with another family. For safety reasons, we've contacted our family." "Thank you for your hard work, Aunt Xiang," Sima Yue said gratefully. Feng Xiang stepped aside with a smile. Su Yang had never seen the Feng people before, but he had heard of their names. Seeing the 10th elder's reaction, he knew that the Feng people were definitely not an ordinary family. Otherwise he would not be so afraid. He glanced at Sima Yue. No wonder she was so confident that she could save everyone. Sima Yue walked over and squatted beside the 10th elder. She reached out and asked Su Yang for his knife. "Actually, I didn't want you to die so early," she said unwillingly, "but I have to get some information from you. You're really lucky." With that, she stabbed the small knife into the 10th elder's body. Su Yang did not expect Sima Yue to really kill him. He wanted to say something, but he saw her pick up the corpse and use her divine sense to enter his mind. After getting the information she wanted, she threw the body to the ground and pulled out the knife from his chest. She stood up and handed it to Su Yang. "This knife is pretty good. It should feel good to torture him with this." Su Yang felt that he should thank her and praise her. "Let's go." Sima Yue stepped over him and walked outside. Feng Xiang quickly followed. He did not know what kind of girl she was. If he could leave this place, he wanted to ask his sister about it. As for the people lying on the ground, he stabbed each of them when he passed by and sent them to hell. When he came out, he saw a group of peak paragon ranks outside. He was so scared that he almost dropped his knife. "Actually, I really want to blow this place up myself. But in order not to alert them, I can only forget about it," Sima Yue said to Jianghu Xian. Su Jin and Gulang were injured many times here. She really wanted to destroy this place. "Master and the others won't care about this," Jianghu Xian said, "but we better go there quickly. If they know about this and hurt Master and the others, it will be troublesome." "Sai, let's go," Sima Yue sighed. "The boat can't fit so many people," Su Yang said. And the target was too big. Sima Yue took out the little realm and let them all in. Only Jianghu Xian, Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiaoxiao were left. They came to the port and a small boat floated on the water. They went up and rowed the boat towards the island where they were imprisoned. When they were almost there, Su Yang said to them, "It's easy to be discovered if we go up from here. I know a secret place. Let's row this way." At this time he was with them, so they didn't have to worry about him cheating. They rowed according to what he said. Soon they arrived at a sheltered bay. They flew up from here and didn't see anyone patrolling. How did you find this place? Aren't you always with them? Although Su Yang was in charge of the torture room, there was never anyone left by his side. Although they said they were for him to run errands, they were just monitoring him. Someone escaped once. When we came here, we caught him here. So we remembered this place. Su Yang said. After so many years, you never gave up on leaving, right? Su Xiaoxiao said. Su Yang looked at the sea. He never thought of staying here, even if the Hao family promised him many benefits. Junior sister, are we going to find Master and the others? Han Miao Shuang asked. No need. We'll go directly to the Hao family to settle the score. Sima Yue said, I've already made arrangements with Master. However, Su Yang realized that the place Sima Yue went wasn't where the Hao family lived. Where are we going? He asked. Doesn't the Hao family have a precious place here? Of course we're going to destroy their source. Sima Yue smiled. Destroy their source? Su Yang saw the smile on Sima Yue's face and thought that this guy was really ruthless. He was going to take drastic measures to prevent the people here from using that place. Sima Yue followed the route in 10th Elder's mind and came to an inconspicuous courtyard at the side of the island. It's here? Aren't we going in? Han Miao Shuang asked. Wait for a while. Sima Yue said. Just as she finished speaking, a deafening explosion came from the island near the torture room. Chapter 1656. The successive explosions not only shocked the Hao family, even Han Miao Shuang and the others were stunned. Little junior sister, did you do it? Su Xiaoxiao asked blankly. Didn't you say that you wouldn't alert the enemy? Han Miao Shuang was puzzled. What I said at that time was that it was a pity that I couldn't blow it up myself. I didn't say that I wouldn't blow it up. Sima Yue said, I've left a few scarlet bees to release the thunderbolt bombs once they receive my orders. That thunderbolt bomb has been modified. All you need to do is use fire. The people from the Hao family have gone over, Su Yang reminded the few people who were talking. It wasn't just the Hao clan's elders and guards. Even 2 peak monarch realm experts had gone over. What should we do? What we need to do is actually very simple. Sima Yue called Feng Xiang and the rest out. Aunt Xiang will have to trouble you when those people arrive. No problem, Feng Xiang replied. Little junior sister, you haven't said that we're going to? Han Miao Shuang swallowed her words when she saw the small metal ball she took out and took it with a grin. Should we set up a barrier? Otherwise the entire island won't be enough for us to blow up. Sima Yue thought it was feasible, so she asked Feng Xiang to set up a barrier to block the power of the explosion. Do you want to come along? Sima Yue passed a thunderbolt bomb to Su Yang. What is this? How do I use it? Su Yang asked. Sima Yue told him how to use the thunderbolt bomb. Did you use this to blow up the torture chamber? Su Yang asked curiously. Yes. Sima Yue gave him a few more. Then she flew into the air and threw one towards the courtyard below. Boom. The explosion created a crater in the corner of the courtyard. I'll do it too. Han Miao Shuang threw one down as well, blowing up half of the courtyard. Su Xiaoxiao and Jiang Junxian also threw 2 down. It was Su Yang's first time playing this game. He felt that it was not bad and threw 2 more down. It didn't take long for the courtyard to be reduced to ruins. Ever since they threw the first thunderbolt bomb, a few peak monarch realm experts came over to kill them. But before they could get close they were stopped by Feng Xiang and the rest. That was why Sima Yu and the others had a good time. Over at the Hao family's 5th elder's side, the person he sent to the torture chamber had yet to send back any news, but the same thing had happened here. He rushed over with his guards, and what he saw was the scene of his own clan elder fighting with a few people. They were well aware of the strength of their own clan elder. They didn't expect that the newcomer would be able to fight them to a draw. No, the other party seemed to have a slight advantage. In addition, there was also a group of people outside, preventing them from approaching. However, Sima Yu, who should be in the torture chamber, was leading people to blow up their foundations. Sima Yu, you dare. 5th elder shouted loudly, attracting Sima Yu's attention. She stopped and flew to the front of the crowd, confronting the 5th elder. Did you blow up the torture chamber too? 5th elder's face was as black as it could get. Even if Sima Yue didn't answer, he could guess it from her voice. Yes. Sima Yue nodded. Then she took out a thunderbolt bomb. She injected spiritual energy into it and threw it behind her. It landed firmly on the ruins and destroyed everything. 5th elder was so angry that he couldn't say anything. His hand trembled as he pointed at her. This troublemaker. You want to kill me? Come here. Sima Yue hooked her finger at him provocatively. Who are you? Me. Am I not your prisoner? Impossible. You did it on purpose. Fifth Elder finally reacted. Why did things happen on the island one after another the moment she arrived? She had a plan. You guessed right. I did it on purpose. I haven't thanked you for bringing me here. Otherwise, how could I find my master and the rest? Your master? Yes, my master and teacher. Who are they? Hey, they're coming over. Sima Yue pointed at the people who flew over from the dormitory area. Almost everyone who was imprisoned was there. The leaders were Su Jin and Gulang. How is this possible? Fifth Elder shouted. How could those people come out? It was impossible for them to break the enchantment. What's impossible about it? Your enchantment isn't indestructible. As long as you have the key, how could you not come out? Sima Yue said. Their space rings have been taken off. How could they refine? It's you? Fifth Elder stared at Sima Yue. He didn't need her to answer. Just by looking at her expression he knew that she was the one who did it. Sima Yue called out Little Rock. She let him carry her and Su Xiao and the rest in the air to watch those people deal with the Hao family. Before leaving Su Jin and the rest, she gave the antidote to Hua Hua and the rest. She told them to pass it to Su Jin and Gulang. Then she took advantage of the chaos that she caused to release all the imprisoned people. These people had been imprisoned here for so long. Their hatred towards the Hao family was as great as the sea. Now that they were free they would naturally seek revenge. Knowing that they were all here they naturally came over. Usually they weren't strong. However, with the support of hatred and the Hao family being suppressed by the Feng people, it wouldn't be difficult for them to take revenge. At this time they didn't need to participate. Let them do as they pleased. After Feng Xiang and the rest got rid of those few peak paragon ranks, they didn't do anything else. Instead they came to Sima Yue's side. They would only occasionally make a move when those people were no match for the Hao family. After half an hour, there wasn't a single Hao family member left alive on the island. Only now did those people truly believe that they had regained their freedom. Master. Sima Yue threw an interspatial ring to Su Jin. Su Jin looked at the things inside and was overjoyed. He gave one to each of them. Sima Yue quickly formed a protective layer to isolate the power of the explosion. Boom. 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 Those people threw all the thunderbolt bombs onto the island. The power caused the entire island to sink. From now on, there would no longer be a place of imprisonment, and no one would ever live a life of darkness in this small place again. Those people who were already disappointed in leaving had their eyes red as they watched the island slowly sink into the sea. Some women even cried. They would never be imprisoned again. Sima Yue waited for them to calm down before saying, "If you guys continue to be so agitated, we won't be able to go back today. The Hao family should have received the news. They must have set up an ambush on our way back. I'm afraid this sea region won't be easy to travel. The Hao family imprisoned all of you for so many years. Don't you guys want to avenge your humiliation?" Yes. The unanimous answer resounded across the sea. Chapter 1657. After being imprisoned for so many years and being exploited for so many years, the physical and mental torture that he had endured all these years was not something that could be erased with just a few words. K***yen**ching**song** sent. The pain in their hearts, the hatred in their hearts, and the years they had wasted here must be washed away with the blood of the Hao clan. However, this is not an easy place to walk. Someone said, "There are many ferocious sea beasts in this area. If we want to leave this place we will need your help." Everyone had seen the battle between Feng Xiang and the Hao clan's ancestors. If Feng Xiang and the others were willing to help, then they would definitely be able to leave successfully. Since I've rescued you, I naturally won't leave you here. Moreover, the Hao family is a big family. We need to work together to deal with them, Sima Yue said to everyone. "May I know your name, miss? We can repay you in the future." "My name is Sima Yue. I've only contributed a little, so it's not worth mentioning. However, if you meet the Sima family of 64th State and Heartbreak Valley's Paramount Valley in the future, if you do anything wrong, please forgive us." Sima Yue bowed to them. "It's getting late, shall we go? Do you all have flying beasts?" Some people had them while others didn't. However, everyone still made do and got on their flying beast. Sima Yue did not ask Feng Xiang and the rest to return. Instead, she asked them to lead the way with her. There were too many sea beasts in this area. With them leading the way, those sea beasts would still have some reservations. Of course, there were also those who encountered lawless. This time it was mainly the sea beasts that lived in groups. Relying on their numbers and strength, they wanted to attack the people in the sky. Unexpectedly, they were blown up by the thunderbolt bombs that fell from the sky. Those that survived quickly fled. After this incident, the sea beasts didn't dare to act rashly. Even if they felt that their territory was being challenged, they would turn a blind eye and let them leave. After rushing for a few days, they finally saw the lost island. Sima Yue brought them directly to the Hao family. Thanks to Tua Xiaogong's map, she did not lead them to the wrong place. When they saw the Hao family's mansion, the anger in everyone's heart burned again. They wished they could immediately go and destroy them. Don't worry. Sima Yue stopped them and gave them some thunderbolt bombs. They have the advantage in numbers. Let's use this to get rid of the big head first. We'll attack the rest one by one. Thank you. After everyone obtained the thunderbolt bombs, they flew into the air and threw them at the Hao residence. Amidst the rumbling sounds, more than half of the Hao residence was destroyed. The higher-ups of the Hao family had already received the news that something had happened over there, but they did not expect them to come to their door so quickly, so they were caught off guard. As for those juniors who didn't know about the situation and weren't prepared, many of them died in this unexpected disaster. By the time the Hao clan reacted, they had already flown into the air and clashed with the Black Tortoise City. The power of the battle had destroyed more than half of the dumbfounded Black Tortoise City. Those clans who reacted quickly activated their defensive array. They were not in the center of the battlefield, so the defensive array was enough to protect them. Let's go and see what's going on. Many people flew into the air above their houses, determined not to leave the range of the defensive array. Why is the Hao family fighting with the outsiders? Since when were there so many outsiders on the island? The people of Black Tortoise City were extremely shocked. Some of them had already guessed something. They had long heard that the Hao family had acted against the outsiders. It looked like this matter was true. With the Hao family's strength, these people who had been locked up should not have been able to escape. Otherwise, this matter would not have persisted for hundreds of years. Looking at the situation, it should be that those who had been locked up had all escaped. Suddenly, everyone realized that there were a few familiar faces in that group of people. The ones who left the deepest impression were Sima Yue, Su Jin, and Gu Lang. Su Jin and Gu Lang had not participated in the Crimson Pearl Convention for long. Because it was the first time outsiders had won against the people on the island, everyone had a deep impression of them. As for Sima Yue, there was no need to talk about her. This descending convention had only been over for a few days. When the Wu family head saw Sima Yue and Gu Lang together, he thought that she had actually managed to find them. It was just that he did not know how they had escaped. Almost everyone from the Hao family had moved out. Those old fellows were blocked by Feng Xiang and the rest, but there were still quite a number of others. Yue, if this carries on, everyone is going to lose. Bring those 3 fellows and leave quickly. Su Jin shouted at Sima Yue. Sima Yue thought for a moment, retreated to one side and opened up her little realm to call out the powerful people from Blood Fiend City to help. F***K, why are there so many people again? Seeing the sudden increase in people, the Hao family could not help but curse. With the addition of the people from Blood Fiend City, the pressure on the outsiders had lessened by quite a bit. They finally had a chance to catch their breath. But before they could rejoice, they felt a movement in the space. A group of people came out from the space tunnel and directly helped the Hao family. Sima Yue did not know which city and which force they were from. But since they came to help the Hao family at this moment, they should not be any good forces. Hence, she did not show any mercy when she attacked. At the start, both parties were still able to maintain a stalemate. But this situation changed after a few peak Paragon experts from the other family came over. They should have received Xiao Xiang from the Hao family and knew that they had a lot of experts. Hence, they directly moved the experts from the other side over. Hence, the number of experts they had to deal with was lesser and they were able to suppress Feng Xiang and the rest. Just as the outsiders were being suppressed and retreated, someone wanted to take the opportunity to sneak an attack on Sima Yue. But he was burnt to ashes by the flames that suddenly appeared on her body. Chirp. Following a long chirp, the divine vermilion bird appeared in front of Sima Yue. He hovered in front of Sima Yue and burned all the people who surrounded her. Divine vermilion bird? This time, the people who were watching the show were not just watching the show. As a place that was linked to the divine clan from the 4 main cities, they knew how important the vermilion bird, azure dragon, white tiger and black tortoise were. They always thought that the 4 great divine beasts had disappeared without a trace. They did not expect to see them with their own eyes one day. Especially the people from the other force who came later. When they saw the vermilion bird, they were stunned. This vermilion bird is not that powerful. Everyone, don't be afraid. Some of you will hold back the vermilion bird. The two of you will attack that little girl. As long as she dies, the vermilion bird will die too. Now that things had come to this, there was no turning back. What they had to do was to move forward and wipe out all the people who were blocking their way. The two peak Paragon experts received the order and immediately attacked Sima Yue. Although she had more external strength, her own strength was weak. The attack of two peak Paragon experts was not something that she could withstand. The spiritual energy was in front of her in the blink of an eye. Chapter 1658. Everyone welcomes your presence. Please remember this site's address to read the latest chapters of Crazy Wife. Divine Dr. Fifth Missy. She was rooted to the spot by the two Paragons' divine sense and couldn't move at all. This was the advantage of absolute strength. No matter what schemes you have, in front of strength you can only be abused. Sima Yue suddenly recalled the dead knot that Yin Lin and the rest talked about. If she was destined to have such a calamity, would it be today? If she died, would Father and the rest be very sad? She could already see Father and Master's bloodthirsty eyes, twisted faces and helpless cries. She actually wanted to tell them that nothing would happen to her. Wu Lingyu had sent an old man to stay by her side. In this world there was no one who could take her life. But she couldn't make a sound. Ha! An unfamiliar voice rang in her ears, then she felt her shoulder being grabbed. She was taken away a second before the spiritual energy touched her. Everything happened in the blink of an eye. Everyone thought that she was dead for sure, but who would have thought that she would appear in another place? When they saw the person who saved her, everyone was stunned, including Sima Yue. She wasn't familiar with this person, but she had seen him before and it wasn't a happy meeting. Because he snorted and almost took Fatty Chu's life. Why is it you, Xiao Tu? She looked at the person who carried her like a chick in surprise. That person let go of her, snorting, "Do you think I want to?" "Big sister." A deep voice came from behind. Sima Yu's face lit up. She turned her head and saw little Tu, who had already grown up, flying over from behind. Xiao Tuesday, she flew over, grabbing his arm. He didn't expect to see him here. This was one of the happiest things that happened to him after he found his master. Xiao Tu was fully grown, he looked like a man in his 20s, his features much more handsome than before. But there were still shadows of when he was young. "Sister, are you okay?" Little Tu grabbed her hand and pulled her over to take a look. That moment just now had almost scared his soul out of him. Fortunately, he came in time and asked the elders to save her. "I'm fine." Sima Yue patted his hand and said, "Why are you here?" "I knew you were here. I was worried that something might have happened to you, so I came to find you. Fortunately, we rushed over." Little Tu rejoiced. "How did you know we were here?" Sima Yue nodded. "You went to look for Beigong and the rest." "I went to look for Sister Beigong and the others first. Then, I found out that you went to the Sima family, so I went to the Sima family. In the end they said that you came here. This place isn't very far from where we live. If we knew you were here, we wouldn't have had to take so many detours." Little Tu said with a smile. "How could they be willing to let you out?" "Forget about Beigong and the others. Let's not talk about this for now. We'll have a good chat after this matter is resolved." Sima Yue realized that it was not a good time to chat. She might be chased away if she was not careful. "All right. Let's get rid of these people first." After Little Tu finished speaking, he pulled Sima Yue and joined the battle. Sima Yue realized that Little Tu's strength was even stronger than hers. It seemed that his bloodline had been completely awakened and it was very powerful. Thinking about it carefully, this was also within her expectations. The last time she saw that person, he had a conversation with Feng Ruyen. From the looks of it, they knew each other. What kind of small fry is he to be acquainted with the Lord of the Phoenix clan? However, even with the addition of Little Tu and his elders, it did not change the strength of both sides. They were still at a disadvantage. At this time, the Wu family brought their elders to join the battle. However, they were not helping the Hao family but helping Sima Yue and the others. At this time it was not about numbers but about strength. Although the Wu family did not have many people joining, they were able to suppress the Wu family's strength to a certain extent. "The one surnamed Wu, what are you doing?" Hao Ji roared at Wu family head. "The one surnamed Hao, can't you see? I am obviously adding insult to injury." Wu family head's words almost made Sima Yue kneel down. "You have done so many shady things, how can we allow you to ruin the atmosphere of the island? We have to get rid of the cancer on the island." "Everyone, family head, even if you want to take advantage of the situation, you don't have to be so obvious." Fortunately, the last sentence was still passable. The one surnamed Wu. If you want to take the opportunity to destroy my Hao family and monopolize Black Tortoise City, then let's see if you have the ability to do so. A man who is never content is like a snake trying to swallow its prey. After speaking, Haoji took out a crystal ball-like item and raised it high above his head. The people on the island were all shocked by the item he took out. The Wu family retreated to the edge of the battlefield. Wu family head's face was so dark that it could drip water. Haoji, you actually got your hands on this item. Haha, the one surnamed Wu, didn't you want to help these people and take the opportunity to suppress us? Do you dare to come up now? Haoji laughed loudly. The crystal ball emitted a multicolored light in the air. It looked very holy and dreamy, but the people on the island kept it a secret. What is this? Sima Yue asked. The people on the Hao family's side all retreated. Both sides were in a stalemate. However, looking at the Hao family's expression, they seemed to be doomed. This is a multicolored stone, a type of spirit stone buried deep in the island. It can affect people's spiritual energy, especially outsiders. Wu family had explained. Sima Yue looked at the light it emitted. When the light shone on her body, it did cause her spiritual energy to be somewhat obstructed. She guessed that the reason why outsiders could not cultivate on the island was related to this item. It seemed that their situation was a bit troublesome. If they could not use their spiritual energy, then wouldn't they be at the mercy of the people on the island? She raised her head and looked at the sky. Feng Xiang and the others had gone up to fight. Looking at the situation, it would not end anytime soon. However, this also meant that this item was useless against the Feng people. Thinking of this, the aura on her body slowly changed. The aura that belonged to the Feng people was released. When the light shone on her body, she did not feel as uncomfortable as before. It can also be like this. She moved her hand and smiled at Haoji. Before Haoji could understand the meaning of her smile, she had already disappeared from where she stood. Almost at the same time, she appeared in front of Haoji. While he was not paying attention, she attacked him at close range. After 2 exchanges, she obtained the multicolored stone and quickly retreated. How is this possible? Haoji looked at the aura emitted from her body and his face sank. How can you be someone from the Feng people? Feng Xiang and the others went to the outer space as soon as they arrived. Haoji and the others did not discover their identities. Now that they saw Sima Yue emitting the aura of the Feng people, their faces changed. Chapter 1659. Everyone welcomes your presence. Please remember this site's address, so that you can read the latest chapters of Crazy Wife, Divine Doctor 5th Miss at any time, if she is from Feng people. Thinking of this possibility, Haoji's body trembled subconsciously. No, how can she be from Feng people? Haoji denied this terrifying thought in his mind. Qi Yin. Sima Yue threw the multicolored stone to Qi Yin. Qi Yin pinched it with his hand, and the multicolored stone turned into colorful powder. The power of imprisonment on those people disappeared instantly. How can it be? How did they provoke such a person? Haoji, we have no way back now. What do you mean by this? If Feng people know about this, I'm afraid we're all finished. The people who came to support Hao family shouted at him. Haoji woke up a lot. That's right, now the arrow is on the bow, he can't turn back. Even if he lets Sima Yue go today, will she let bygones be bygones? Of course not. So, his only choice is to keep her here forever. Kill everyone, he ordered. Who dares to touch our miss? There was another movement in the air, the space tunnel was opened, and then, thousands of Feng people walked out from it. This scene scared the hell out of everyone present. Mississippi, those people saluted Sima Yue. Sima Yue saw that the leaders were actually Feng and Yuan, and said with some surprise, "Why are you two here?" His Honor heard that something happened to you here. Originally he wanted to come over personally, but he was concocting a very important pill, so he asked us to come over. Feng said as she looked around at those people. They didn't do anything to you, right? Other than wanting to kill me, there's nothing else. Sima Yue stretched out her hand to touch Feng's head. Lord said, your life in this lost land is too smooth, and you have forgotten your duty. You even dare to touch our Feng people's miss, you're really tired of living. Yuan said, Feng people listen, whoever wants to hurt miss, kill without mercy. Yes. The Feng people surrounded the Hao family and the people who came to support them. When they were about to attack, more people rushed over. Hey, don't be so angry, little girl. Didn't you say that you don't want to sink my island? Sima Yue heard this voice and couldn't help but twitch her mouth. She looked at Tua Xiaogong and Miko-sama and shrugged helplessly. Tua Xiaogong stopped beside Sima Yue and said, Little girl, it's not enough for you to play with the Vermilion Bird City, you still want to overturn the Black Tortoise City? No way. Sima Yue rolled her eyes at him. I didn't touch those who didn't provoke me. If you want to be a peacemaker, don't you think you should give the Hao clan an explanation for what they did? Who said I'm going to be a peacemaker? Tua Xiaogong smiled. I just want you to keep a low profile. The young ladies of Feng people don't need to keep a low profile. Fang Fang snorted coldly. Isn't it just a small family? How dare they kill our young lady? Tua Xiaogong, you should be glad that his honor didn't directly order your island to be sunk. Yuan added. Glad, very glad. Tua Xiaogong smiled and said. Island Master Tua, let's not talk about nonsense. Why did you come here? If it's to offend the Hao family, then forget it. Even if I want to let them go, those who have been locked up for so many years won't be willing. Although we are outsiders, there's nothing wrong with taking revenge. Sima Yue said in a deep voice. I don't care about the Hao family, but leave the rest to me to punish. They didn't directly participate in this matter. Tua Xiaogong said. Sima Yue looked at Su Jin and then looked at the others. She was a bit troubled. Actually, she didn't care. After all, only the Hao family did this to her, but she didn't know what the others thought. Tua Xiaogong was the island master and had helped her before. Although it was under the premise that he cheated her of a large sum of money, she had to admit it. Those people saw that Sima Yue was troubled and said, Miss Yue, we definitely can't let the Hao family go. We don't care about the others. We believe that the island master will give us an explanation. That's right. We believe in you. The Hao family heard their words and their faces turned ashen. The other family let out a sigh of relief. At least their lives were saved. Fang Fang gave the order. The Feng clan's people and everyone else who had been locked up attacked together. The Hao clan's people were exterminated in front of everyone's eyes. Only now did those people realize that there was no one in this world that they couldn't offend. If they were the ones who offended her, would they still be alive today? During this process, Tua Xiaogong and the witch didn't move at all. After it was over, Sima Yue didn't forget to remind everyone to go to the Hao family to find some comfort. Therefore, after this, the Hao family was completely destroyed. Not long after, Feng Xiang and the others also came back from the outer space. The Hao family was killed, but they also suffered heavy injuries. Miss, since it's over, we'll go back. Fang Fang said. Feng Xiang and the others are injured. We'll leave some guards for you. Sima Yue wanted to say that it wasn't necessary. However, seeing his firm attitude, she didn't say anything. Anyway, leaving Feng Xiang and the others was the same as leaving a few more people. Fang Fang asked the strongest people to stay behind, and then she and Yuan brought the rest back. The Feng people didn't like to get involved in these things. This had always been their habit. Now that she had the identity of the Feng people, no one on this island dared to touch her. Unless some idiots wanted to end up like the Hao family. Island Master Tua, didn't you go out to travel? Why did you come back? The others went to plunder the Hao family. Sima Yue chatted with Tua Xiaogong. Our ship was already outside. When we heard that you went missing, we rushed back. Who knew that we would see this situation when we came back? Tua Xiaogong was also speechless. I didn't expect you to have such a background. I didn't see it clearly at that time. Sima Yue didn't expect that the reason he came back was because she went missing. She didn't seem to know him. Why did he take care of her from the start? Don't look at me like that. I'll think that you're interested in me. Tua Xiaogong touched his face. He was extremely narcissistic. She wanted to slap him and tell him that narcissism was an illness that needed to be treated. After thinking about it, she held it in and asked the question in her heart. Why do I take care of you so much? Tua Xiaogong smiled. If you feel embarrassed, you can pay me more crystals. Sima Yue. Tua Xiaogong smiled and went to deal with the rest of the matters. Some things couldn't be said. Chapter 1660. Everyone welcomes your presence. Please remember this site's address to read the latest chapters of Crazy Wife, Miracle Doctor 5th Missy. Sima Yue went to find Master Wu and thanked him. No matter what his motive was, he had helped her objectively. If he hadn't led the Wu family to help defend for a while, she wouldn't have been able to wait for reinforcements. You're welcome. Without us, I believe that you'll be fine. You'll be fine too. Elder Wu smiled and waved his hand. Although his gaze towards Sima Yue changed slightly, it wasn't flattery and was magnanimous. Sima Yue liked his attitude. She chatted with him for a while before saying that she had something to do and left. Little Tu was not far away from her. Seeing that she had finished talking with Master Wu, he hurried over. Done? Leave the matters here to them. Let's find a place to chat. Sima Yue pulled little Tu and wanted to find a quiet place to chat. Before she walked away, she saw a group of people flying towards her excitedly. Little Tu stood in front of her and looked at them cautiously, not allowing them to get close to Sima Yue. Sima Yue looked at his broad back and thought of him saying when he was young that he would definitely become strong to protect them. She smiled and her eyes were still wet. Who are you? Little Tu asked coldly. If we spoke to them like this in the past, they would have turned hostile. But now that she was one of them, they couldn't make her angry. We're here to find Miss Yue, an elder said. Sima Yue tugged at Little Tu's clothes and he moved aside. She looked at Tao Yixin. Yixin, why are you here? The elder was stunned. She knew Tao Yixin. Tao Yixin walked forward and bowed to Sima Yue. These are the heads of the various families in Vermilion Bird City. We heard that the Vermilion Bird had appeared, so we came to pay our respects. The Vermilion Bird has always been our guardian. From the name of Vermilion Bird City, Sima Yue knew that they must have something to do with Vermilion Bird. However, she was very interested and asked Qi Yan. After getting an affirmative answer, she said to them, Qi Yan agreed to see you. If you have anything to say, you can say it to him. After saying this, she called Qi Yan out and left with Little Tuesday. She wasn't interested in what Crimson Flame would say to them. Right now, she wanted to talk to Little Tuesday. The two of them arrived at the seaside. This place was far away from the hustle and bustle of Black Tortoise City. The golden beach, the undulating tides, and the warm sunlight were the perfect place to reminisce. The two of them left 2 long footprints on the beach. How is your life now? Sima Yue did not forget how helpless she felt when he was taken away by Huabin. We're fine, especially after Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior came to find us recently. Our strength has increased by quite a bit. Sima Yue was stunned. Supreme Fifth Spirit Warrior? How did they get together? He has some blood relations with the ancient Divine Ape bloodline, so... Sima Yue understood. The ancient Divine Ape and Supreme Fifth Spirit Warrior both belonged to the Ape clan. It was normal for the 2 clans to be related. However, she did not expect Supreme Fifth Spirit Warrior to find the Divine Ape clan. Supreme Fifth Spirit Warrior's identity is special. You have to be careful in the future. Don't let others take advantage of you. She warned. We know. Only you would say that. Little Tu said with a smile. That smile was as bright as the sun in the past. Seeing that he understood, she did not say much and changed the topic. She asked, Your blood has been completely awakened. Yes, after returning to the clan they awakened my blood. I no longer have the blood of the human race. Speaking of this, Little Tu was still depressed. He did not want to give up the blood of the human race. However, those old fellows in the clan insisted on doing it for him. Since he was young, he felt that he was a human. Now that he had completely become a spirit beast, he could not cross this hurdle in his heart. What does a human have to do with spirit beast? You are still you. Sima Yue patted his shoulder, telling him not to think too much. Yes, as long as you don't think I'm weird, I don't care about others. Little Tu replied. However, you shouldn't despise me. In the past, when others abandoned me, you didn't despise me for being a monster. You were so cute when you were young. Why would we think you were a monster? Sima Yue said with a smile. Yes, you've grown up. You're not as cute as before. Why don't I change back? Forget it. You'll get used to it after looking at it a few more times. Sima Yue said. Alright, you saw Bei Gong and the others last time. Are they okay? They're all fine. They had a fortuitous encounter a while ago. Their strength has increased by quite a bit. Especially Brother Fatty. They said that he was stimulated and his strength is increasing. They said that when everyone's strength is stable, they will look for you. Little Tu said. But I think it's more likely that you'll go back and see them. Yes, I'll go back and take a look when I go back this time. Sima Yue said. It's time to go back and take a look. Unknowingly, she had left Heartbreak Valley for 10 years. She didn't know how everyone was doing now. Time, to a cultivator, was simply too easy to pass. Han Miao Shuang and the others knew that she and Little Tu had a lot to talk about, so they didn't call her over. However, Crimson Flame came to look for her not long after. He didn't say anything and returned to the Spirit Pagoda directly. When she and Little Tu returned, Black Tortoise City had already returned to its usual life. The Hao clan had become a topic of conversation for people in the past. As for the people in Vermilion Bird City, they were all sent away by Crimson Flame. They wouldn't look for her. Not long after she went back, Su Jin and the others came looking for her. They said that everyone wanted to see her again and prepared to leave. This island gave them too many bad memories. Sima Yue didn't want to see them at first. However, she thought that it would be good karma in the future. No one would dislike having more friends. Hence, she went to see them and exchanged some pleasantries. She even found out about their identities and how to find them. Many of these people came from big forces. Their status wasn't low. They knew that Paramount Valley was developing towards the inner regions. They all said that it would be convenient for them in the future. With this, it would be much more convenient for Paramount Valley to do things in the future. After a round of conversation, half a day had passed by the time everyone left. The others left, but the little old man remained in the courtyard. Sima Yue saw that he didn't leave. She asked curiously, "Old Grandpa, why aren't you leaving? Didn't we agree to go to Paramount Valley after leaving?" The little old man said. Sima Yue smiled and said, "Old Grandpa, don't tease me. I didn't know your identity before. You're the vice-sect master of the 100 Changing Doors. How would I dare to let you go?" Su Jin was the one who told her about the little old man's identity. She was surprised when she found out. Could be said that they were fated. "This belongs to you. They gave the original to me. I can't give it to you. However, I made a copy. I hope you don't mind." Sima Yue took out a copy and handed it to the little old man. Chapter 1661. The little old man took the rubbing and looked at it. He was stunned. "Why is this book with you?" The little old man asked. "Someone gave it to me when I was young." Sima Yue said apologetically. Back then, Wu Lingyu had gone to visit the graves of other people's ancestors. She couldn't say that. Back then, Big Wei and Little Wei wanted me to give it to them. Now I'm returning it to you. You know Big Wei and Little Wei? The little old man had been locked up here for too long, and there were many things that he did not know about the outside world, so he did not understand her relationship with the 100 Changing Doors. They used to stay in the heavenly sect for a period of time. I'm a student there. Sima Yue did not say anything else to make connections. The little old man put away the stone rubbing. He did not reject the offer. Many of the 100 Changing Gates array formations were not as good as before. With this, they would definitely be able to perfect them in the future. This was also what the 100 Changing Gate was currently pursuing. He bowed towards Sima Yue and said, "I can't thank you enough. If you need the 100 Changing Doors in the future, just let me know." Sima Yue helped him up and said with a smile, "If I need your help in the future, I won't hesitate." With her words, the little old man left with peace of mind. Only the master and his disciples were left in the courtyard. "Master, let's prepare to leave too," Sima Yue said. "You guys have been missing for so long. Director Mao and Director Fan are very worried." "That works too. I don't want to stay on this island anymore." Su Jin thought of those unpleasant things and felt depressed. "Is Principal Yuan in the academy?" Gulang asked. Sima Yue then remembered that Yuan Xiaojie was not around either. "Isn't Dean Yuan with you?" Su Xiaoxiao asked. "No. Although we left the academy together, we separated later on. When we came here, he said he had something to do." Gulang and Su Jin looked at each other, clearly thinking of something. "Master, did something happen to Principal Yuan?" Han Miao Shuang asked. "That's hard to say." Su Jin said, "With that old fellow's temperament, there shouldn't be any problems." "It should be. Otherwise, if Director Mao and the others knew that we were coming to look for Master, they would have informed us. Since he didn't say anything, then Dean Yuan should have sent a message back." Jiang Junxian analyzed. Sima Yu felt the same way, so they threw Yuan Xiaojie to the back of their minds. Since they had decided to leave, they didn't delay any further. Since there was no one who wanted to say goodbye, they headed straight for the ferry. He didn't expect to see a large ship when he arrived. Tua Xiaogong and the witch were standing on the deck. Sima Yue looked at Tua Xiaogong. The corner of her mouth twitched. "Don't tell me you want to be a helmsman again?" "What? You don't believe in my ability?" Tua Xiaogong pulled a long face and said. Sima Yue rolled her eyes at him. "It's not that I don't believe in your rowing ability, but I believe in your ability to trick people. I don't have that many crystals to give you." "Ha ha ha." Tua Xiaogong laughed. "I won't charge you crystals this time." "Really?" "Of course." Young Tua smiled respectfully. "Come on up. That fellow has sent the others. Now there's only my small boat left." Sima Yue also noticed that this boat was smaller than the previous one, but it looked much more exquisite. When they went up, Tua Xiaogong ordered the boat to set sail. "I thought you wanted to personally steer." Sima Yue pouted. "Last time it was for fun. This time I want to go out by myself." Tua Xiaogong snorted. So you guys are on the way. He laid on the rocking chair with his hands behind his head. He was very relaxed. No wonder you didn't charge us this time. Sima Yue walked to his side and sat down on the deck. My charges are very reasonable. Tua Xiaogong smiled. How is it reasonable? A lot of it is useless. Just because you don't use it now doesn't mean you won't use it in the future. What do you mean? Sima Yue asked. Some things are not limited to the present. You will know how important it is in the future. Tua Xiaogong stopped talking and closed his eyes to bask in the sun. Sima Yue wanted to ask him what he meant by that. Why did he seem to be hinting at something in his words? But when she saw him basking in the sun, she knew that he wouldn't say anything even if she asked. Later on, Tua Xiaogong didn't say anything. When they reached the shore, Tua Xiaogong chased them off the boat. He didn't say anything and just left. Sima Yue wanted to kick him. They knew each other after all. Did he have to be so arrogant? Also, didn't he say that he wanted to travel? What did he mean by not getting off the boat? What's so good about this place? I'll go to other places. If we're fated, we might meet again. Sima Yue and the rest stood by the shore and realized that he wasn't heading back. What does he mean? Han Miao Shuang came over and asked. Sima Yue was also confused. She shook her head and left with the rest. As the most urgent matter had been resolved, she felt much more relaxed, so she did not rush back. First, she sent a message to Director Mao and the rest. The group then slowly turned back, enjoying the scenery along the way, chatting and relaxing everyone's mood. It was already half a year later when they returned to the Sima family. The Sima family was very happy to see them back. Sima Qing stared at Sima Yue and nodded, saying, "There's really nothing that can stop you." Sima Yue touched her nose. Was the old ancestor's evaluation of her too high? How long are you staying this time? Sima Zhiyuan asked. Just a short rest. Sima Yue replied, I have to accompany Master and the rest back to the academy. After that, I have to return to Paramount Valley. Feng'er and Xiang Yi's marriage has been delayed for too long. They insisted that they would only get married after I return. You've been busy with those things all these years. It's good to go out and relax. Sima Hishun said, but you must be careful. I know. After she returned to the clan, she revitalized the clan. She treated Feng Ruyan's old illness, went to the hidden clan to ask for divine medicine for Sima Lu Xian, and went to the lost place to save her master. She had already completed most of the things that she had suppressed in her heart. If there was anything that she was worried about now, it would be that she hadn't found her mother and her family hadn't reunited. Well, although she was worried about Wu Lingyu, she believed in his ability. There would be no problem. If she wanted to find her mother, she had to go to the ghost realm. With her current strength, it was really difficult to go. Did she really have to wait for her strength to increase? She wanted to use the method that Mou gave her. She hesitated. Should she use this method to go to the ghost realm? If she went there, what kind of situation would she face? Was Deja ready there? Chapter 1662. Everyone welcomes your presence. Please remember the address of this site, so that you can read the latest chapters of Crazy Wife, Divine Dr. Fifth Miss at any time. It was still too early for her to think about the ghost realm. Although she had more external strength now, it was still beyond their reach when they went to the ghost realm. She was anxious, but it was of no use. However, not only was she thinking about it, others were also thinking about it, and she even knew about it. Yu, when I was playing with Xiaoxi and the family just now, I heard your master and master talking about it. Your master and your father were talking about the ghost realm. It seems like they are planning to secretly go there without telling you. Little Roar came to show his loyalty. Sima Yue was shocked and quickly ran to Sima Lu Xian's courtyard. Sure enough, she saw the two of them talking in the courtyard and stopped when they saw her. Father, Master, you want to secretly go to the ghost realm? She walked over and asked directly. Feng Zhixing blinked and wanted to refute but was interrupted by her. Little Roar and Xiaoxi heard it. A single sentence blocked the rest of Feng Zhixing's words. We didn't say we were going, we were just discussing. Sima Lu Xian knew his daughter. If she said so, she must have known. Father, Master Yinlin once said something, do you know? She walked to their side and sat down, staring at the two of them. What did he say? He said that only I can save Mother. How could he say such a thing? This was not in line with his identity as a fraud. For someone like him, he liked to say that heaven's secrets could not be revealed. He would not say something so certain. Sima Yue took out the 100 ghost banner and placed it on the stone table. What is this? Feng Zhixing asked. 100 ghost banner. Sima Yue explained the use of the 100 Ghost Banner and how she got it, then said, "Cousin is planning to use this to save mother. Why did Lin say that I must get this? I'm in the human race, what's the use of getting this? If others can do it, why must I have this thing?" The two of them were speechless by her question. They really didn't expect Lin to say something like that. "So, Father Master, you can't go to the Ghost Realm secretly. When the time is right, I will go to the Ghost Realm to save mother." Sima Yue said, "If you don't agree, I will have to take extreme measures." Sima Luxian smiled, "Oh, what are you going to do to us?" "I'll let the Scarlet Bees keep an eye on you guys, watch you guys when you're bathing or going to the toilet. If anything happens to you guys, I'll know. If you lose your Scarlet Bees, I will know that you are up to no good." Sima Yue smiled cunningly. In order to protect themselves in their later years, the two of them had no choice but to promise her that they would not act rashly. That was why she did not release the Scarlet Bees to do bad things. However, she also promised them that if there was any action, she would definitely bring them along. Only then did the two sides reach an agreement that neither side would do anything behind the other's back. Sima Yue left after getting a satisfactory answer. She planned to return to the academy with Su Jin and the others to take a look. So after staying with Sima family for more than 10 days, they set off again and went to the central region to return to the academy. When they returned to the academy again, they stood at the entrance of the academy. Looking at the familiar scenery, they felt a little dazed. It seemed that they had left this place for a very long time. Life in the academy seemed to be very far away. "Yue." A familiar voice sounded. It came from behind. Sima Yue turned around and saw Shui Rong and Ma Bo walking towards the entrance of the academy. The voice from before was still a little hesitant. Seeing her turn around, Shui Rong ran over in surprise. "It's really you. When I saw your back just now, I was still a little uncertain." "It's you guys." Sima Yue looked at the two of them. "I met you guys when I first entered the inner courtyard. The first acquaintance I met when I came back is also you guys." "Oh, we're so fated," Shui Rong said with a smile. "Did you guys just come back?" Sima Yue nodded. "I came here with Master and the others. They went back first. I wanted to come here to take a look and met you guys. Why are you still in the academy?" "According to their age and strength, they should be able to leave the academy already. We're both mentors of the outer courtyard now." Shui Rong said, "We've only been here for 2 years. "Ah, congratulations. I'll have to call you Teacher Shui and Teacher Ma in the future." Sima Yue laughed. She knew that some students would choose to stay in the academy after graduation, but it was very difficult. She didn't expect them to succeed. "Don't make fun of us. We have nowhere to go." Shui Rong said, "Now that you're back and the people in the academy know, they'll probably go crazy." "It can't be. I've been away for a long time." Sima Yue didn't believe it. "But your name is still very famous in the academy." Shui Rong said, "Believe it or not, if I shout here, you won't be able to walk into the academy today." The things that she had done, one by one, had long spread throughout the academy. No matter if it was the incident in the dark forest or the fact that she had single-handedly turned the tide in Fair Eastern City, after so many years, it was still the topic of everyone's conversation outside of Cultivation. Of course, this was also due to the academy's publicity. If others knew that such a person walked out of the academy, it would be so honorable. It was simply a living signboard. "You won't trick me like that, right?" Sima Yue wasn't worried. Shui Rong and Ma Bojian weren't bad friends. "Hee, you guessed right." Shui Rong said, "Let's go in. Since you haven't been back for a long time, you can take the opportunity to see the scenery of the academy." Okay. Sima Yue and Little Two followed them into the academy gate. The scenery in front of them was still the same, but the students walking in the academy were not familiar to her. Things were still the same, but people had changed. This was the feeling. After chatting with Shui Rong and the rest for a while, she and Little Two went to the teleportation array to the inner region. The people guarding the teleportation array were still the same people. When they saw her enter, they all widened their eyes as if they didn't react. When she and Little Two entered the teleportation array, they then stuttered, "The person who just entered is Sima Yue, right?" "That's right, it's her. Why did she suddenly come back? I didn't even react." A few students happened to come in from outside. Hearing their words, they asked, "Who are you talking about?" "Who's back?" "Sima Yue." "Sima Yue, what Sima Yue?" Those students exclaimed, "You're saying that Sima Yue is back? Why are you so surprised?" "Oh my god, my idol is really back. I'm going to inform everyone," that student said as he ran out. As he ran, he shouted that Sima Yue was back. Soon, everyone in the outer courtyard knew that she had returned. Then the news quickly spread to the inner courtyard. When she saw the passionate students, she was so scared that she quickly called 1,000 residents out to fuse with her. She changed her appearance to avoid those crazy people. Chapter 1663. It wasn't until they reached Mao Sanquan's office that she released her fusion with 1,000 resonance and returned to her original form. Everyone in the room laughed when they saw her patting her chest with a look of lingering fear. Why are these students so crazy now? She let out a long sigh. They weren't like this when she was in the academy, right? Why did they become even crazier after he left? You're now the idol of the entire academy. Although many people haven't seen you before, they've heard a lot about you, Fan Lei said with a smile. There's no need for this, right? This is too scary. Sima Yue was speechless. With them like this, how could she walk around the academy in peace? Why not? Everyone knows about what you've done outside. Word of it has spread like wildfire, and the entire academy knows about it. Especially when you chased all the ghost clansmen back in Fair Eastern City alone. The scene of the lightning tribulation of 10,000 Li was so spectacular that the students described it vividly. You made us old bones regret not being there to see how impressive you were, Fan Lei teased. Sima Yue, how was she awe-inspiring? He was clearly struck to the point of being half dead, alright? She felt that she could no longer play properly. At most, you can change your appearance every time you go out. Little Tu looked at her speechless expression and explained. That's the only way, sir. She leaned against the chair weakly. Master, it seems that I have to leave early. To Paramount Valley? Sujin asked. Sima Yue nodded. I came back because I wanted to take a look at the academy. Now that I've seen it and encountered such a situation, I naturally have to leave as soon as possible. Your brother is getting married, so we have to go and express our gratitude. I'll go with you. Sujin said. You rascal, you just came back and you want to leave again? Are you going to leave the matters of the academy to me, an old fan? No. If I have to go, then I'll go. You can handle things in the academy. Mao Sanquan said unhappily. I haven't been back for decades. I don't know how to make these things for you. Su Jin disagreed. Hey, is an old fan here? Let him take care of it for you. Don't even think about it. Old Mao and I are going. You and Gulang haven't been back for so long. It's time for you to take care of it. Fan Lei protested. That won't do. Old Su is right. We haven't dealt with these matters for a long time. There will be trouble. You'll be able to handle it. Gulang also disagreed. Besides, Old Su is Yoyue's master and I'm Yoyue's teacher. Her brother is getting married, so of course we'll go. That's right, it's better for you guys to stay here. Right, Yoyue? Su Jin pulled Sima Yue along. Sima Yue did not expect that they would draw the fire of war to her. However, she did not intend to get involved. Instead, she looked at Mao Sanquan and asked, Director Mao, is Dean Yuan doing well? Mao Sanquan was obviously taken aback for a moment. His expression was a little unnatural, but he immediately smiled and said, He's fine. There's news coming back from time to time. Sima Yue understood that there were some secrets that he could not tell her. However, since he was still so calm, it meant that there shouldn't be any big problems. Knock knock knock. There was a knock on the door. Mao Sanquan said, Come in. That person pushed the door open and entered. The first person he saw was Sima Yue. She really came back. It seemed that the news outside was true. Simiao, you're here. Have you sorted everything out? Mao Sanquan's voice interrupted Wang Simiao's thoughts. He nodded at Sima Yue and then walked to Mao Sanquan's desk. He handed over the sorted information to him. We've sent people to investigate these two places, but we didn't find them. Also, the two small towns beside them have been completely wiped out. His voice was as cold as usual, but this time, it contained suppressed anger. These people are getting more and more arrogant. Fan Lei and Mao Sanquan's faces were filled with anger. What happened? Gulang asked. It's about those undead. Mao Sanquan said angrily, In the past we didn't care about this matter in the inner regions, but now it's in the middle regions. Things have happened in many places. Undead? Su Jin and Gulang still didn't know about this matter. Speaking of which, it was Yue who sent people to inform us first, that's why we were alerted. Mao Sanquan said, I don't know why, but in recent years more and more experts have gone missing and more commoners have been killed. It's as if they're going to do something big. Sima Yue thought of the pile of undead in the spirit pagoda. Could it be that because they lost the undead they wanted to make up for it? Director Mao, can you let me take a look at the information? she asked. Mao Sanquan asked Wang Ximiao to pass the information to her. She quickly flipped through it and found that the people who went missing were not weak. They were about the same level as those in her spirit pagoda. And the places where the incidents happened were not very strong, and most of them were commoners. However, these places were far from the academy. By the time the academy's people rushed there, those people had already escaped. This matter has to be dealt with at the root for it to be effective. Fan Lei said, otherwise they'll just find a place to kill and we'll chase after them. It won't have much effect. But they always appear and disappear like ghosts. We can't do anything about it. Wang Ximiao said. This. Sigh. Mao Sanquan and Fan Lei both sighed. He was right. They were in a passive position now. Director Fan, Director Mao, I have some clues. Sima Yue said. What do you know? Sima Yue told them about the undead she saw in the Yang family, as well as the undead she saw in Northern Du House Place. If I'm not wrong, this matter is caused by the Yang family and the Northern Du family. She concluded, when we touched the Yang family before, we felt that this matter was not something they could do alone. If they have the Northern Du family behind them, then it makes sense. This Northern Du family is a hidden family. Their status and strength are extraordinary in this continent. Why would they do something like this? No one could understand. Although the Northern Du clan is also a hidden clan, firstly, they are originally people who harbor evil intentions. Secondly, I believe that there are conflicts between the hidden clans that cannot be resolved. At the very least, I know that the Northern Du clan is not on good terms with the other clans. Thirdly, no one would complain about having too much power, right? Since they know about this method with their family's character, they would only pursue power and not care about the lives of others. Sima Yue guessed. If that's the case, then the Northern Du family and the Yang family will become the public enemy of the entire continent. We have to find evidence first. Otherwise they will deny it. As long as there are clues and directions, there's no need to worry about not being able to find anything. Ximiao, you arrange this matter. Let them investigate according to Yoyue's words. They must find evidence. Mao Sanquan instructed. Chapter 1664. Wang Ximiao accepted the order and left. Sima Yue waited for him to leave before asking Mao Sanquan, has Wang Ximiao graduated? His performance just now was not the performance of an ordinary student. That batch of people have all graduated and most of them have left. He stayed behind to be my assistant. Mao Sanquan said, he's very capable, so it's good for him to stay and develop in the academy. I didn't expect them to have all graduated. Sima Yue sighed. I feel like I haven't known them for long. When you came to the academy, they had already reached the graduation standard. Previously, they wanted to stay in the academy for a while longer, but after being stimulated by your matter, they all graduated and went out to explore. Mao Sanquan was also somewhat emotional. Sima Yue didn't stay in the academy for long, but she had a huge impact on the entire academy, especially the students. Now, all of them were cultivating as if they were injected with stimulants. When asked the reason, the boys all said that they couldn't prepare because they were too far behind the goddess. The girls all said that they were all women, and it would be embarrassing to be left behind too far behind. There were all kinds of words, but they all had one thing in common, and that was they all worshipped her. Sima Yue could not help but laugh. She never thought that she would become such an existence at such a young age. He had clearly not done anything for the academy, yet he had become the object of admiration. There was one thing that she did not expect. For some people, her existence was a kind of encouragement to others. Now let's continue our previous topic. Yue, who do you plan on bringing with you? Su Jin asked. Sima Yue stood up and bowed to everyone. She said, I'll leave this matter to you. I'm going back to rest. We will return to Heartbreak Valley in a few days. You still have a lot of time to discuss. Without waiting for them to speak, he left first. What a joke. She wouldn't accept such a hot potato that would offend others. In any case, the result could be foreseen. Mao Sanquan and the others definitely wouldn't be able to rely on Su Jin. As for Gulang, after being trapped on the island for so long, how could he be willing to be trapped in the academy to work? However, she would not say much. Otherwise, Director Mao and the others would be angry. She brought Little Two back to Parting Garden. Not long after, Han Miao Shuang and the others returned. Su Xiaoxiao returned to his job and began to clean the Parting Garden. Jiang Junxian returned to his room to sleep. Han Miao Shuang pulled her to make some delicious food. Little Seven brought Qing Yi to tour the academy. After all, she had lived here for so many years, she still wanted Qing Yi to see more of the place where she lived. Sima Yue, Little Tu, and Han Miao Shuang gathered together to eat delicious food. She specially made Little Roar and Little Lucky's favorite barbecued chicken as a reward for accompanying the witch the last time. After Su Xiaoxiao cleaned the whole yard thoroughly, she joined them, picked up the barbecue and began to eat. Eating some good food and chatting, this kind of life was very comfortable. Although Huabin was not the kind of person who had a strong appetite, he still ate a little more this time and praised it. Yu Yu's food is delicious. Xiaoxi was small, but his eating speed was not slow. Little Tu, when are we going back? Huabin asked. At least wait until the matter with Paramount Valley is over. The clan leader didn't set a time for us to go back, there's no rush. Little Tu continued, also if the clan leader is angry we can say that Xiaoxi asked us to stay here to accompany him, right Xiaoxi? Xiaoxi's eyes turned and nodded seriously saying, you're right, you guys are here to accompany and protect me, you can't leave. Little Tu laughed. Huabin was depressed. Wasn't this blatantly faking it? But Xiaoxi's identity was special. As long as he asked, he really couldn't say no. Sima Yue smiled and patted Xiaoxi's head. Xiaoxi smiled at her obediently. She liked it, he would help her keep Little Tuesday. Such peaceful days passed for 10 days. When she was about to leave, Su Jin and Mao Sanquan still hadn't decided on a winner. Sima Yue didn't say anything. She left a pile of antidote pills and left with Little Tu and Little Seven. The news that she was going back had already been sent back, so that Shimin Feng could set the wedding date and prepare the betrothal gifts. She didn't expect Shimin Feng to send a message asking her to go back and discuss it together. She had no choice but to give up the idea of going back by sightseeing. She chose to use the teleportation array and quickly returned to Paramount Valley. Knowing that she was back, all the disciples in the valley were in an uproar. The atmosphere in the valley instantly reached its peak, and everyone was very enthusiastic when dealing with matters. Sima Yue didn't avoid everyone like she did in the academy. She directly walked out of the teleportation array and was immediately surrounded by the excited disciples. Instead, Little Tu and Little Seven were pushed to the back. Sima Yue smiled and greeted everyone. She was stuck on the spot and couldn't move. In the end, it was Shimin Feng who helped her solve the problem. The Valley Lord had spoken, so no one dared to surround her. But no one was willing to leave, so they followed her from afar. Shimin Feng looked at these disciples helplessly, but he didn't scold them anymore. He took Sima Yue and left. These brats are really asking for a beating. I'll send them to the training hall for a period of time later. Shimin Feng's voice wasn't loud, but it made the faces of the disciples behind him change. They were elated just now, but now they looked bitter. These disciples are much more active now. Sima Yue wasn't angry. I saw some of them from Blood Fiend City. They wouldn't do such things in the past. After merging with Divine Devil Valley they are better. At least they don't look like they are full of killing intent anymore. Shimin Feng said. When Heartbreak Valley was established, except for the remaining members of the Shimin family, the disciples in the valley were all from Blood Fiend City. The entire valley could be said to be filled with a murderous aura. He had spent a lot of effort to suppress them back then. The disciples of Divine Devil Valley were much more lively. After merging, the people of Blood Fiend City slowly changed. Sima Yue nodded and smiled. This is good. Shimin Feng brought her to her courtyard. She tugged at her clothes and asked, let's go and pay our respects to Master and Martial Uncle first? They are waiting in your courtyard now. We can go there directly. Shimin Feng said. Sima Yue opened her mouth in surprise. How can I do that? I should be the one to greet them after I return. Who asked you to leave for so many years? They want to see you sooner. We won't let them wait too long. Shimin Feng was helpless about this. But who asked them to pamper her so much? When she returned to her courtyard, she saw a group of people waiting for her. Other than Liang Wu Ming and Old Man Mo, there was also Feng Kai and Ian Yi and the others. Of course there was also Bei Gong Tang, Fatty Chu and the others. Meeting again after so many years, seeing these familiar smiling faces, her eyes slowly turned red. Chapter 1665. That day, a group of people stayed in her courtyard until very late. She only came back when Liang Wu Ming told her that she needed to rest more. In any case, she wouldn't be leaving anytime soon. Everyone thought about it and agreed. Only then did they leave reluctantly. Sima Yue let Shimin Feng, Bei Gong Tang and the others stay behind. Feng, have you talked to Xiangyi yet? When will they get married? How are the preparations for the betrothal gifts coming along? Now that there were fewer people, she led them into the drawing room. The betrothal gifts have been prepared a long time ago. We were just waiting for you to come back and set the date. She will also come over tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. At that time we will set the date together. When Shimin Feng spoke of Kong Sangyi, the tenderness on his face couldn't be concealed. That's good. You've all waited for so many years. Recently the continent has been rather chaotic. The sooner you can get married, the sooner you can. Sima Yue said, let's go look for them tomorrow and pick a few good dates when Xiangyi comes. Okay. Shimin Feng also wanted to get married as soon as possible, so he had no objection to her proposal. As for the invitations, you can send them out once the date is confirmed. We can't be too tight on time. We have to give them some time to come over. Sima Yue urged, if we can use this matter to get closer to other forces, we will have an extra layer of protection in the future. Yue, you said that the continent is more chaotic. Are you talking about the black-robed men? Wei Ziki asked. More than that. Sima Yue said, the men in black are one of them, but their main area of activity is the central region. There are fewer people in the inner region. Right now the most troublesome thing is the undead and the chi spirits. Undead and chi spirit? Yes. Sima Yue explained the matter of the undead and the chi spirits in detail. Then she said, although the chi spirits don't happen many times, once it starts, I'm afraid it will spread to the central region. As for the undead, it has already spread to the central region. Everyone's brows furrowed. Furthermore, the whereabouts of the demonic sword Sky Splitter are unknown, and many forces have been implicated because of suspicion. In addition, with the birth of the primordial divine beast, there will be many conflicts later on. Sima Yue added, not to mention the power and turf wars caused by these things. I have never heard of so many things before. It seems this world is really going to be chaotic. Shimin Feng sighed. What's wrong? Sima Yue felt that something was amiss. Shimin Feng thought about it and decided to tell her what he knew. Because of Wu Lingyu, I pay more attention to the devil realm. He glanced at Sima Yue, afraid that she would be angry. Seeing that her expression did not change, he continued, although I don't know what exactly happened over there, it has been very turbulent over there recently. There have been many big battles and countless casualties. Sima Yue fell silent for a moment before replying, Lingyu has gone to the devil realm, and the matter between him and the devil king has been brought to light. I see. Shimin Feng knew about some things between Wu Lingyu and the devil king. At first, he guessed that it had something to do with him. Now that he had confirmed it, his heart calmed down. Also, the ghost realm seems to be in troubled times. There are endless battles. The human, devil, and devil realms are all in turmoil. It seems like this world is going to be cleansed. Ouyang Fei frowned, this is just the beginning. I don't know what will happen in the future. In this kind of situation, it is impossible to stay out of it. Bei Gongtang was also a little worried. We can't stop these things from happening, so the only thing we can do now is to increase our strength. We will have more protection in this chaotic world. Sima Yue said, have you all contracted the primordial divine beasts that I gave you the last time? You were the one who lectured me, right? Once I contracted them, my strength increased by leaps and bounds. Fatty Chu chuckled. If there are more of these divine beasts in the future, I won't be afraid of being last place. You're always thinking of taking shortcuts. Bei Gongtang glared at him. I'm just worried. My strength is too low. What if I drag you down? Fatty Chu said. Stop it. Your talent is not lower than ours. You were just lazy in the past. Wei Ziqi bluntly exposed him. Now it's barely passable. I don't have that. Fatty Chu protested softly. It's not too late to change now. Sima Yue looked at Fatty Chu's aggrieved look and smiled. You like to refine weapons. In the future, refine more offensive and defensive weapons. This can also be considered as increasing your strength. As for the other things, you can put them aside for now. I think so too. I'll use the remaining time to cultivate. Did you use the thunderbolt bullets that I gave you the last time? I used them. And I'm not the only one who used them. Sima Yue told them about how they used the thunderbolt bullets to turn the small island and the Hao clan into ruins. Seeing that everyone was looking at her, she asked, what's wrong? Your senior brothers are right. Wei Ziqi said, things will happen no matter where you go. If we follow you, we'll definitely encounter something thrilling. It's a pity that we're too weak now. We've only just reached the monarch rank after contracting an ancient spirit beast. We can't go with you. Bei Gongtang said regretfully. You've all reached the monarch rank? Sima Yue did not pay attention to their strength. Looking closely, she nodded happily. Your strength has increased very quickly. Although Fatty Chu is still at the bottom, he's already entered the monarch rank. It's much faster than what I expected. Compared to you, it's not fast. Wei Ziqi said, when we were young, our strength was about the same. Now you're a few levels ahead of us. I'm also still a monarch rank. Sima Yue said. She was just a few levels higher than them. Most people at our age don't have our strength. So you don't have to be unhappy. That's true. Let's not talk about the lower continents. Even in the primordial lands, there were very few people who advanced to the monarch rank when they were over 100 years old. There were almost none like them who entered the monarch rank when they were 60 or 70 years old. So their talents were also very good. It was just that with Sima Yue in front of them, they always felt that they were too far behind. So they never realized this. But as you said, we still have to increase our strength now. Otherwise, when chaos comes, it'll be hard to keep our lives. Ouyang Fei said. You're all professional masters. Bring more life-saving things with you. Sima Yue thought about it and took out a pile of things to give them. These were all good things that she had plundered from the Hao family. On the second day, Shimin Feng chose a few days. A few days later, Kong Sangyi arrived at Heartbreak Valley. The three of them gathered together and muttered for a long time. Finally, they decided on a date. In order to give others enough time, the wedding date was set to 9 months later. Once the wedding date was set, Sima Yue and the others started to prepare the invitation and sent people to deliver it. Soon, the news of Shimin Feng's wedding spread throughout the outer, middle, and inner regions. Everyone who received the invitation said they would go. Stop Show 7. Chapter 1666. Please wait for a moment. After the content has been updated, please refresh the page to get the latest update. Chapter 1667. Please wait for a moment. After the content is updated, please refresh the page to get the latest update. Chapter 1668. Please wait for a moment. After the content is updated, please refresh the page to get the latest update. Chapter 1669. Shimin carried little Roar and left happily. Seeing her like this, Shimin Feng helplessly shook his head. She has to grow up on her own, Sima Yue comforted him. There's a limit to what we can give her. She has to walk her own path. I know. But I didn't expect it to be so fast. Shimin Feng said. It doesn't matter if she leaves sooner or later. Sima Yue said, I will get Qi Yan to instruct the other bird clans to pay attention to her safety. However, unless their lives were in danger, they wouldn't make a move. Just send some more people to protect her in secret. After your marriage, I think most people won't be blind enough to offend Paramount Valley. I will also ask the Kong Valley to pay attention. Kong Sangyi said. All right. You're also Li Er's sister-in-law now, so we won't be polite. Sima Yue nodded. Martial uncle said that Feng doesn't have to deal with the matters in the valley these few days. If you have time, you can bring Xiangyi around or go out for a walk. It's like a honeymoon. After saying that, he looked at Kong Sangyi's stomach meaningfully. Kong Sangyi blushed instantly. I'm going back to rest. You two can go and do whatever you want, Sima Yue said and turned to leave their courtyard, leaving the two of them staring at each other. Sima Yue didn't return to her own courtyard. She knew that Su Jin and the others hadn't returned yet, so she went to their place. Along the way she met Great Master Ji and the child. The two of them were planning to catch a few poisonous insects for research. When they saw her, they even greeted her with a smile. Sima Yue hadn't seen Great Master Ji since he arrived. She had asked him about his situation a few times, but he always said that he would run into the valley every day and that all the poisonous creatures would hide when they saw him. Great Master Ji, the environment here is not as good as the Lost Lands. Are you used to living here? She asked with a smile. How is it not better than the Lost Lands? It was much better here than there. Many of the poisons are unique to this place. I've never seen them before. Great Master Ji was in a good mood. Hehe, you really didn't lie to me. This place is indeed more suitable for me to live. As long as you're happy. After all, the poisons that he developed would benefit Paramount Valley. But if you're going to look for poisonous creatures, it's best not to bring the baby along. The valley is still very dangerous. You're right. Help me bring him back. Great Master Ji patted the child's head, and the child obediently went to Sima Yu's side. He went to the depths of Heartbreak Valley. Let's go, Sima Yue brought the child and sent him back before going to meet Su Jin and the others. In the guest courtyard, Su Jin, Mao Sanquan, Gulang and Fan Lei had all come. She had left behind more than 2 or 3 antidote pills because she had foreseen this outcome. In the courtyard they were talking to Ouyang Fei and the others. The moment she entered they stopped. Master, Teacher Gu, Director Fan, Director Mao. She bowed to them. You finally woke up. I've never seen you drink wine like this. Jiang Junxian said. His words had a faint concern. Aren't I happy? Sima Yue smiled. When you and senior sister get married, I definitely won't drink so much. I have to stay sober and disturb your bridal chamber. Little junior sister, what are you talking about? Han Miao Shuang glared at her. It was rare for her to be shy. Isn't this what you said? You'll get married once you find master. Sima Yue blinked. Did I remember wrongly? Xiao, you've heard of it too, right? They did say that. Su Xiao nodded honestly. You guys. Han Miao Shuang stretched out her hand to hit Su Xiao. She was very embarrassed. Jun Xian has already told me about this. Since you guys have already discussed it, Master won't say anything more. You guys can find a date to do it. Su Jin said, you guys can imagine how grand a wedding I'll make for you. I won't do something as tiring as Yue. This round was too tiring. They looked at Yue and felt tired. We don't want to make it so troublesome. We just want Master to be our witness. Jiang Junxian replied. He actually wanted to hold a wedding. Han Miao Shuang looked at Shimin Feng and Kong Sangyi's wedding with envy. Although he couldn't give her such a wedding, he could give her a simple and original wedding. But Han Miao Shuang didn't agree. Although she envied Kong Sangyi, she knew that not everyone could have it. She just wanted to be with Jiang Junxian in a simple way. We still have to have a wedding. If you don't want to invite those people, you can't leave out your family and friends. Sima Yue said, how about this, we'll hold a small wedding. Leave these things to the valley to prepare. You guys just have to wait patiently for the wedding. How long will it take? Fan Lei asked. The few old guys were already out. It wouldn't be good if there was no one watching over the sect. If you don't invite other guests, it'll take a few days. Do you guys want it? I just need to invite Qiu Shuang and Chen Ji. As for the Jiang family, forget it. I just need you guys to be here. Han Miao Shuang was also chased out by her family. She didn't contact her family at all. Qiu Shuang and Chen Ji are in the valley. Then we don't have to wait for guests. 10 days. 10 days should be enough. Sima Yue estimated the time and felt that it was about time. Anyway, everyone is here. We'll just keep everything simple. Han Miao Shuang had no objections. Then we'll have to trouble you, junior sister. Jiang Junxian looked at Sima Yue gratefully. There's no need to be so polite between us. Sima Yue said, all right, you two just wait patiently. Bei Gong, come with me to arrange it. Okay. I like this kind of thing. Bei Gong Tang smiled and replied. Sima Yue stared at her. You're so interested. Do you want to get married too? Go away. I won't marry even if you do. Bei Gong Tang reached out to tickle her. Is that so? Ouyang, what do you think? Sima Yue dodged while asking Ouyang Fei. Why are you asking that idiot about my matters? Bei Gong Tang was furious. Since when did Ouyang have the nickname of idiot? Is it unique to you? Sima Yue dodged her and ran outside. Bei Gong Tang chased after her. Idiot? Good Ouyang, you didn't even tell us when you had something good. Wei Ziqi and Fatty Chu chased after Ouyang Fei. The two of them were too good at keeping secrets. If Sima Yue didn't say it, they wouldn't even know. Ouyang Fei's figure flashed and distanced himself from the two of them. He said coldly, you guys didn't realize it yourselves? You're not observant enough. Don't you think these words are asking for a beating? Fatty Chu asked. Yeah, they're really asking for a beating. Wei Ziqi replied. So the two of them chased after him. Chapter 1670. There were only a few more days before the wedding. Han Miao Shuang suddenly felt a little nervous. However, Sima Yue did not tell her anything. She did not even tell the people from Paramount Valley. She felt anxious waiting like this. Sima Yue said that this was premarital anxiety. She would be fine as long as she found something to do, such as making something for Jiang Junxian. For example, undergarments for newlyweds. Thus, she, who had never held a needle and thread before, went to the textile hall to learn how to make clothes. Du Sanyang had always been in charge of the textile hall. Knowing that she wanted to learn, Du Sanyang found a few embroiderers to teach her. Finally, her impetuous heart calmed down. On Sima Yue's side, everything was going on like a raging fire. She was decorating the wedding venue and purchasing the necessary items. Sima Yue even asked Fatty Chu to refine tools for making multi-layered cakes. Luckily, Shimin Feng had prepared a lot of things for the wedding. There were still a lot of useless things left. Sima Yue used those things to decorate a very modern wedding scene. She also took Han Miao Shuang's measurements and made a wedding dress for her. The wedding dress was personally designed by her, and it was very different from the modern phoenix coronets and robes. Fortunately, the embroiderers had good embroidery skills, and they quickly understood what she meant and began to work according to her request. Fatty Chu and the rest were fine and wanted to help, but were chased away by Sima Yue, saying that they were in the way. Every day when they saw her running around with Bei Gong Tang and the others, they were all curious as to what kind of wedding she would hold. But this time she rejected all the men's participation, and those who helped would not tell them. And the only man who knew, Jiang Junxian, would not reveal a word about the wedding. He only said that they would know when the time came. The more this was the case, the more curious those people became. Towards the end, all the Paramount Valley disciples were looking forward to it. The Vice Valley Lord rarely did anything, but what she did wasn't bad. Amidst everyone's anticipation, the wedding day finally arrived. Sima Yue had made it clear to the people in the valley the day before that they could watch from both sides of the valley, but they were not allowed to cause any trouble. Those with status in the valley had all received invitations and reserved seats for them. Hence, on the morning of the wedding, the people of Paramount Valley surrounded both sides of the valley. When they saw that the valley was decorated like a sea of flowers, everyone thought that they had entered a fairyland. On both sides of the canyon, they had arranged many purplish-blue gauze. Some were casually tied to tree branches, and some were hung on both sides of the cliff. When the wind blew, the sky became a purplish-blue ocean. There was an open space in the middle of the sea of flowers. Hundreds of pure white chairs were placed in the open space, and there was a wide walkway in the middle. The walkway was covered with petals of various colors. One end of the walkway was connected to an arch made of flower vines, and the other end was a small platform. On the platform was a simple stone platform, and behind the small platform was a huge oil painting of the sea and sky. On the beach there were two figures holding hands. Oh my God, this is too dreamy. The disciples in the valley were stunned by this scene. In modern times this might just be an ordinary wedding venue, but in this place it was unique. I wonder what the bride will be like. I think she's definitely different from other brides. Just by looking at this arrangement, I know it's definitely different. Once the Vice Valley Lord makes his move, we'll know. Then let's wait, the bride should be here soon. When it was time for the wedding, the people who received the invitation gradually entered the venue and sat according to the seat number on the invitation. At this moment, the sound of music began to play. This music was different from the past and it made people feel joyous. Only then did everyone notice the women in light purple dresses standing around the venue. Each of them held a sound stone in their hands and injected spiritual power into it at the same time. They played the same music at the same time and the music was loud and clear. Seeing this strange arrangement, everyone was curious. Feng, what's your sister doing? Liang Wu Ming and Shimin Feng sat together and asked. I don't know either. Shimin Feng was also curious. She's your sister and Xiangyi went to help too. Didn't they tell you? Liang Wu Ming was curious. No. They said they wanted to keep it a secret and they can't even tell me. Shimin Feng was also helpless. It was fine if others didn't tell him, but the person who slept next to him didn't even tell him. Your sister has a lot of ideas in her head. Liang Wu Ming laughed. This is the first time I've seen such a unique wedding, and now I'm curious about the newlyweds. I'm curious too. Shimin Feng laughed and replied. And the bride that everyone was looking forward to was looking at the wedding dress in front of her, and the corner of her mouth kept twitching. Little junior sister, are you sure this is a wedding dress for me? She reached out and twirled the gauze. It was really embarrassing. Senior sister, I personally designed this for you and made the embroiderer stay up for a few days and nights to make this wedding dress for you. Sima Yue put her hands on her hips, and looked like she was going to hit her if she didn't wear it. Isn't this too revealing? Han Miao Shuang still didn't want to. It's not revealing, it's not revealing. This is already the most conservative one I designed for you. Not much flesh is exposed. Sima Yue said, wait until you wear it, then you'll know the effect. Bei Gong Tang smiled and explained, Sister Miao Shuang, we've seen this wedding dress before, it won't be revealing when you wear it. Don't worry. Compared to Sima Yue, Han Miao Shuang trusted Bei Gong Tang more, and after hearing her words she unwillingly changed into the wedding dress. When she was done, Sima Yue brought her in front of the mirror, and even she was a little stunned. In the mirror she saw a purplish-blue close-fitting long dress that outlined her mesmerizing curves, and the right side of her thighs were wrinkled layer by layer, making her enchanting yet dreamy like a princess. The dress was inlaid with fine diamonds, and under the sunlight, it reflected fine rays of light. Everyone's breathing slowed, afraid to break this beautiful image. I originally wanted to use white because I like white the most for wedding dresses. But in the end I still chose your favorite purplish blue. Sima Yue said, "How is it? My design isn't bad, right?" "It's nice." Han Miao Shuang smiled and nodded. "It's just that this arm doesn't have a sleeve, it feels weird." "There's this." Sima Yue took a pair of lace gloves from the side and put it on for her, leaving only a small part below her shoulder. "And this." Sima Yue waved the veil in her hand. "You can only wear this after your hair is done. I'll do your hair first." She quickly combed Han Miao Shuang's hair into a bridal hairstyle, and then put the veil on. The front was short, and it reached her chest, and the back was long, and dragged to the ground together with the back of the wedding dress. This way it won't be revealing. "Alright, the bride is dressed, let's change to the wedding." Sima Yue looked at the stunning bride with satisfaction, and thought that her hands were really good. Chapter 1671. Please wait for a moment. After the content has been updated, please refresh the page to get the latest update. Chapter 1672. Sima Yue saw him like this and knew that it was not a small matter. She did not delay and asked Bei Gong Tang to call Mao Sanquan, Fan Lei and the others. She also called Shimin Feng and Liang Wu Ming and returned to the guest house where they lived. They did not talk about the undead along the way as they were afraid that people would hear and cause unnecessary panic. Instead they talked about other things. When they returned to the courtyard, Sima Yue casually set up a barrier. Mao Sanquan asked, "What happened?" "Director Mao, a town was massacred this time." Wang Si Miao said, "And we also received news that the next town is nearby." "Massacred a town?" "They actually massacred a town again." Sima Yue frowned. "It seems that they urgently need blood. Why? Are you sure that the next town is nearby?" Liang Wu Ming asked. "I can't be sure. It's just that when those people left they said that Paramount Valley was very lively. Did they want to join in the fun? They even said that Yue had returned. Based on their recent actions they might have designs on this place." Wang Ximing guessed. "Yue, do you have a grudge against them?" Gulang asked. "Sort of. I have some grudges with the Yang family." Sima Yue told him about what happened between her and Yang Shi, including how she killed people and threw them in the desert. She also participated in the Spirit Stone Convention and obtained so many undead from the Yang family. "It seems that the Yang family still doesn't know that you know about the undead. If they're targeting you, it should be to avenge Yang Shi." Mao Sanquan said. "Although they don't have evidence, I did kill them. According to the nature of these big powers, even if they don't have evidence, they will definitely push the blame onto me. Fenger's wedding this time is so big. It's normal for it to attract their attention." Sima Yue was not surprised by the Yang family's actions. Anyway, if she did not die they would not give up on her. It was just that she did not know what they were going to do. Those big families really like to do this kind of thing. Su Jin sneered, looking down on them. "Simiao, continue to investigate the Yang family and Northern Du family. If there's any news, send a copy to Yue." Mao Sanquan said. "Okay. Feng, we also need to take action. Since they dared to come to our territory we can't let them leave so easily." Liang Wu Ming said to Shimin Feng. "That's exactly what I was thinking." Shimin Feng's face was also very ugly. Daring to have ideas about his sister, he really didn't want to live anymore. It's not that easy. Sima Yue poured cold water on everyone. "What? When I was in the ancient mine I was a little puzzled. When I first met the Yang family I didn't feel the aura of the undead. Why did the undead appear later? After the incident with Du Haonen, I finally understood that they had placed the corpses in their spatial rings." Sima Yue said, "The space ring is able to isolate the aura of death. Even if you're beside that person you won't know that he has corpses. Corpses didn't have life and didn't need to breathe, so they could be stored in spatial rings. When she first discovered this she even used a few corpses as an experiment. In the end her guess was completely right. In this way, it is indeed difficult to find their tracks. If we want to find them, we'll definitely be able to find some clues. Shimin Feng said, we just have to send more people. That would be a waste of manpower and resources. Sima Yue didn't agree. I have an idea. What idea? Aren't they coming for me? Then I'll let them come for me. Sima Yue said. You want to use yourself as bait? Yes. No. A few voices sounded in the room at the same time. Shimin Feng and Su Jin didn't agree. It's too dangerous for you to go out. Mao Sanquan didn't agree either. Don't worry, I'm confident. Sima Yue said, no matter how many undead he has, he can't do anything to me. He can't even get close to me. That still won't do. Shimin Feng still didn't agree. Feng, the ghost aura in my body, Crimson Flame's flame and lightning calamity are the nemesis of those undead. So the only ones that can harm me are the living ones. I didn't say that I won't bring anyone with me, right? Sima Yue persuaded, if they're already here and we don't get rid of them early, I'm afraid that a lot of innocent people will be implicated. You don't want to see a massacre in the city, right? But, I'll bring more people with me when the time comes. Sima Yue said. Shimin Feng knew that she had made a decision, so he could only remain silent. What do you plan to do? It's very simple. A few days later, Sima Yue left Heartbreak Valley and announced that she was going to visit the Qin clan. She and Qin Imo were good friends, so everyone thought that she was invited by the Qin clan. However, Qin Imo didn't return to the Qin clan. He was still handling things near Heartbreak Valley. When he knew that she came to find him, he was a little surprised and quickly received her. Qin Imo, I'm here to ask for your help. Sima Yue said this when she saw him, which shocked Qin Imo. What's wrong? Nothing, I just want to ask you to play with me and go shopping. Sima Yue said with a smile. All right. For the next few days, Qin Imo put down the things at hand and accompanied Sima Yue to shop in the city. They bought things and ate delicacies. They were very relaxed. After playing for a while, she took her leave and slowly returned to Heartbreak Valley with her maidservant, Enlei. Enlei, are you afraid? Sima Yue asked. Enlei shook her head. My life was given to me by young mistress. I'm not afraid of anything if I follow young mistress. Didn't you say that you have things to do? After this is over, you can go and do your things. Sima Yue said. Young mistress, I can't do what I want to do now. I want to move my mother's grave out of Eastern Lai clan, but I'm afraid I can't go back now. Enlei said. Because I killed Eastern Lai Li? Sima Yue was stunned, then said apologetically, I've implicated you. Young mistress, what are you saying? Following young mistress is the best thing I've done in my life. If my mother knew, she would be happy for me. As for where she is, she shouldn't care that much. Enlei comforted her. When there's a chance later, let's go and retrieve your mother's remains. We've already gone to Xianqiu clan, why can't we go to Eastern Lai clan? Sima Yue promised. Young mistress. Enlei's eyes were slightly red. We're in trouble now, don't cry at this time. Sima Yue smiled. Chapter 1673. Please wait for a moment. After the content has been updated, please refresh the page to get the latest update. Chapter 1674. Please wait for a moment. After the content has been updated, please refresh the page to get the latest update. Chapter 1675. The Yang family's strength had increased so much that even the alliance of several forces couldn't touch their foundation. Who knew how many corpses they had left behind? Why is this corpse so much stronger than when it was alive? Anayani asked. Death Chi can restrain ordinary spiritual energy. Compared to them, your spiritual techniques are naturally weaker. In addition, when they were being cultivated, some poison was added to them, making them poisonous. The slightest carelessness could cause one to be poisoned to death. Furthermore, the corrosive power of their attacks was strengthened. In addition, they would not feel any pain if they died. As long as they were not cut into pieces, they could continue to attack. Can any of you do something like this, fighting without regard for your own life? You can't do it. You're weaker in this aspect. Sima Yue analyzed. No wonder the Yang clan and Northern Du clan would have the idea of obtaining the undead. With such an advantage, people would definitely be tempted. In addition, all he had to do was kill people, which was much faster than training an expert. Boss, why do you have corpses? How can you still control them? Dai asked. I stole it from the Yang family. Sima Yue said. Damn boss, you're awesome. He was actually able to steal their corpses from the Yang family. How did you steal it? If that's the case, let's go steal their corpses. Dai said with a grin. Sima Yue rolled her eyes at him. If it's so easy to steal, wouldn't the Yang family have done so much for nothing? Then didn't you steal it last time? Speaking of which, boss, how much have you stolen from others? It's not that much, just a few thousand. Sima Yue casually said, but she didn't expect to frighten everyone present. 10,000? Holy sh*t boss, are you going to wipe them all out? Yu Si cried out. Ahem, I saw that they took all of them away. Sima Yue touched her nose. No wonder they've been so active recently. It turns out that you've stolen all the corpses they've made. Boss, if you can control so many corpses, then you're the walking king of the dead. King of the dead, your head. Sima Yue slapped an Ian Yi's head. These corpses can't be exposed. If others know that I have corpses here, I'll become their public enemy. You idiot. Boss always brings people with him. Why would he need those corpses? That's true. So stupid. Feng Kai knocked on an Ian Yi's head. However, it's not like boss can't use them at all. It's still possible to set up a trap or something. Sima Yue, let's go back. Tell the disciples in the valley to disperse. After Liang Wu Ming finished speaking, he brought everyone back. Shi Chen, take an E to rest. Sima Yue said to Shi Chen. And Ian Yi's Yues Sima Yue, Sima Simas and Ni's Sima Yue the Yues and they T. When they returned to the conference room, everyone's expression was a little solemn. The battle prowess of the undead made them feel troubled. Don't be like this. Nothing happened. Sima Yue looked at everyone helplessly. The Yang clan is so hard to deal with. You have a grudge with them and now they're targeting you. We'll have to go against them sooner or later. Shimen Feng said. Sima Yue played an important role in the news of the Yang clan raising corpses. Everyone knew that this was exposed because of her. If it was just a small grudge in the past, then the Yang clan had a deep hatred for her now. They would try to kill her if it was just a small matter. Now that things had developed to this state, how could there be any room for reconciliation? You're thinking too much. Sima Yue laughed and shook her head. If they want to kill me, they can send people over. I have the Feng people to protect me. If it's the corpses, then it's even easier. What? Dai asked. Because boss is the natural nemesis of those corpses. Feng Kai said. No matter if it's the vermilion bird's flame or the lightning, those corpses don't dare to touch them. Since boss can control those corpses, she must have a way to deal with those corpses. Sima Yue gave him a smart look and said, So, you don't have to worry about me. I'm worried that they'll do something to the people in our valley. This was truly a thorny matter. We'll try our best to keep everyone safe. Sima Yue was silent for a while and said, Actually, there's a solution to this problem. What idea did you come up with again? Sima Yue, when did she come up with any ideas? How could he describe her good idea like that? Although she was frustrated, she still had to come up with a solution. Actually, it's very simple to solve this problem. We just have to make the Yang clan so busy that they can't take care of us. Don't they have a lot of forces to deal with? If they still have the energy to deal with us, then we'll find them some powerful opponents. Many forces don't care about things that don't concern them. When the time comes, we'll help them find something to do. Anyway, Feng Kai is right. These corpses can't be exposed, but they're suitable for framing others. She smiled slyly. It was indeed a clever idea. But they all like this idea. This idea isn't bad. If the Yang clan does anything to the valley, then I'll leave the rest to you. Liang Wu Ming waved his hand and the gloominess on his face disappeared. Although there were already some forces that had their eyes on the Yang clan, but more people chose to wait and see. If this matter had already spread to them, would they still be so calm? Sima Yue's existence was to restrain the Yang clan. That idea of framing was a favorite of everyone. All right. Let me know if anything happens in the valley. Sima Yue said, also keep an eye on the academy. Also, get people to keep an eye on the people in the area. If they appear nearby, be careful that they're from the Yang clan. We will. Shimen Feng nodded. Then if there's nothing else, I'll go back first. Sima Yue said. Go on. You're the Vice Valley Lord, yet you don't care about anything else in the valley. Liang Wu Ming complained. Sima Yue chuckled, bowed and left. She really didn't care about those trivial matters. However, things went as they expected. Not long after, Paramount Valley's people were attacked by the corpses. They managed to delay until the reinforcements arrived, but they still couldn't do anything to the corpses. Instead, the reinforcements were all killed. The Yang clan used this to challenge Paramount Valley. When Sima Yue heard that dozens of her disciples were all killed, she was furious. She took out the inner region's force distribution map and studied it, looking for a target. Chapter 1676. In 3 months, the people in Paramount Valley's inner region had been attacked several times. If it was not for Heartbreak Valley sending experts over, the power that they had accumulated in the inner region over the years would have been destroyed in one day. Liang Wu Ming personally led his men to the inner region, and Sima Yue followed along. When they reached the headquarters of the inner regions, they saw Bai Sheng and Lu Liangkai. Valley Lord, Vice Valley Lord, why did you come personally? Bai Sheng looked at them in surprise. What's the situation? Sima Yue asked. Not very good. Bai Sheng said, we lost 200 to 300 disciples in 3 months. Those undead are very powerful. We've been very careful, but we still can't stop them. Lu Liangkai sighed. Now we've called back the disciples outside. We'll try our best not to go out. Well, it's good to call him back. Tell everyone not to go out for the next few months. Close the shop too. After 2 months, the Yang clan won't have the energy to care about us. Sima Yue was a little angry and squinted her eyes. Those who knew her well knew that someone was going to be in trouble. What plans do you have? Bai Sheng saw her and his heart was at ease. Sima Yue smiled. You'll know in 2 months. In the next 2 months, corpses appeared in many places in the inner area. Many disciples and clansmen of powerful forces were killed by the corpses. That method was the same as the one used to kill the Paramount Valley disciples. Back then, when the Yang family attacked Paramount Valley, these people knew about it. Sima Yue had caused so much trouble for the Yang family. It was expected that they would seek revenge. Now that they saw the same technique, these people naturally thought that this was the work of the Yang family. In particular, there was a group of people who had escaped and reported back to the sect. The leader of the group was an elder from the Yang family. The sect master was so angry that he smashed the tea table beside him and said hatefully, we didn't go to deal with the Yang family, but the Yang family actually dared to attack us. Go and invite the elders here. Thus, in the following period of time, the Yang family was suppressed by those big forces until they could not breathe. In just a few months they lost many people. The strength of the people dispatched by these forces was not something that the disciples of Paramount Valley could compare to. Even if they encountered the undead, they would be annihilated together. Once this matter spread out, it became even more certain that the Yang family had corpses. Some of the factions that had not been framed also joined in, afraid that the Yang family would act first. The pressure that the Yang family was facing became greater and greater. In the end, they had no choice but to leave the 16th prefecture and hide. It had only been a year since Sima Yue returned to the inner region. Sima Yue was quite satisfied with this outcome. The Yang family would not be able to do anything to Paramount for the time being. Boss, your trick of framing is really good. Feng Kai smiled very brightly. Liang Wu Ming returned to Paramount Valley and asked the 10 brothers to come to the inner region to assist Bai Sheng and Lu Liangkai in restarting the work in the inner region. However, only Boss can use this move. You see, continued, if it wasn't for Boss's ability to change her appearance and control the undead, it would be impossible to frame the Yang family. That's why Boss is so powerful. And I admired her even more. The Yang family is just hiding. Sima Yue was happy but did not forget about it. I think there will be other forces involved. Other forces? Northern Du clan can make the Yang family do this. Naturally, they can make other clans do the same. The Yang family is not the only one with ambition. Sima Yue guessed. That's right. As long as the source is not destroyed, the issue of the undead will continue. However, at least our crisis has been resolved. This way they would not be under so much pressure. Success is due to the same person. The Yang family's strength increased greatly because of the undead. However, because of the undead, they had no choice but to hide. Bai Sheng sighed. Everyone sighed too. If it wasn't because the undead were exclusive to the Yang family, Sima Yue's trick of framing would not have such an effect. Where do you guys think the Yang family is hiding? Dai Yi asked. Where else can they be? They are most likely hiding in the Northern Du clan. Feng Kai said confidently. Since the Yang family and the Northern Du clan were tied together, the Northern Du clan would definitely not want to throw away their chess piece. After all, many of the undead were still in the hands of the Yang family and the outside world did not know that they were the masterminds behind it. Sima Yue and the rest knew, but they would not reveal it for the time being. They could still deal with the Yang family. However, if they implicated a hidden family without absolute evidence, the people of the mainland would not easily touch them. During this period of time, the Northern Du clan could make Paramount Valley disappear from the mainland. Hence, to implicate the Northern Du clan, they needed substantial evidence. However, Northern Du Hao was not enough. Alright, the Yang family's matter will end here. Your mission now is to develop our strength in the inner regions. Pay close attention to the undead. Sima Yue instructed. We know. In the future, even if the Yang family wanted to make a move on Paramount Valley, as long as they did not use the undead, they would not care too much. Now, as long as they used the undead, the people of the mainland would be able to follow this line of investigation. The Yang family had many enemies now. While Sima Yue and the rest were discussing the Yang family, the Northern Du clan was also discussing Sima Yue. You said that those things were done by Sima Yue? A black-clothed square-faced man sat together with Yang Wei. Yes. Yang Wei nodded affirmatively. He clenched his fists and said hatefully, after our analysis, Seventh Elder would not betray the family. He must have been coerced to kill those people. If it wasn't for her, we would not have been chased by so many forces and could only hide now. Serves you right. The man shouted, what did I tell you at the beginning? Sima Yue is not an ordinary person. Don't touch her now. You didn't listen and wanted to kill her over such a small matter. In the end you exposed yourselves. You ruined my Northern Du clan's entire plan. Now you still have the face to blame others? Elder Hong, please calm down. Yang Wei quickly admitted his mistake. At this time they could not anger the Northern Du clan anymore. If they did not care about the Yang family, then the Yang family would really be finished. We have been preparing for decades and were about to succeed. But because of you we lost everything. The family is already blaming you. If it wasn't for the fact that you were still useful, we would have destroyed you without those people. Elder Hong said bluntly. Yes. Yang Wei quickly nodded in agreement. After a moment of silence, Yang Wei asked again, does the family have any news about the young master? Not yet. Elder Hong glanced at him and said, what do you want to say now? I just feel that this matter might be related to Sima Yue. Chapter 1677. Love. Elder Hong stared at Yang Wei for a while, wondering if he had pulled Sima Yue along because of the grudge between them. Yang Wei didn't avoid his gaze and continued, I think it's very likely that she did it. What? Young Lord and Eastern Lai clan's young Miss Eastern Lai Li went to participate in the Crimson Pearl Convention. Both of them did not return. Eastern Lai Li's life tablet had already shattered, and it happened a few days after the Crimson Pearl Convention ended. It was also at that time that they lost contact with the young master. Therefore, the two of them should have met with an accident together, Yang Wei analyzed. You're right. According to the people who followed them, the two of them disappeared together. Elder Hong nodded. At that time, Sima Yue also went to the Lost Lands to look for her master and teacher. Yang Wei continued, they were both in the Lost Lands and one of them died while the other went missing. Although young Lord doesn't have any grudges with Sima Yue, she doesn't get along with Eastern Lai Li. Many people attended Shimen Feng's wedding. The news of Sima Yue going to the lost place also spread. The Northern Du clan also knew that she had participated in the Crimson Pearl Convention. There was no need for Yang Wei to continue. It was not impossible for Northern Du Hao to accompany Eastern Lai Li to kill Sima Yue. But young master brought so many corpses with him. How could Sima Yue defeat them all? He said this because he believed that Sima Yue was related to Northern Du Hao's disappearance. Elder Hong, have you forgotten Sima Yue's identity? She was the child of a human and a ghost, so she had the bloodline of a ghost. Moreover, that person was the princess of the ghost clan. If she had the blood of the ghost clan in her body, those corpses might not be so useful to her. Moreover, her strength is very strong. Men. Elder Hong shouted to the outside and a guard came in. He instructed, send someone to investigate Sima Yue's information for me. No matter how big or small, I want to know everything. Yes, Elder. Elder, there's no need to trouble them. I have a copy of her information here. Yang Wei took out a thick stack of papers and handed them to Elder Hong. Actually, the reason why we want to deal with Sima Yue is not only because of her collusion with us, but also because if we don't get rid of such a person, when she grows up in the future, how will we have a foothold in the future? Elder Hong took the information and started reading. The more he read, the more shocked he became. He had always thought that Sima Yue was just a lady from a small family and had never taken her seriously. He did not expect her to do so many shocking things. Yang Wei saw the change in his expression and continued, "Actually, it's not that we were impulsive. The people we sent out were enough to kill several Paragon-level experts, but she was completely unharmed." What did this mean? Corpses could do no harm to her. If I'm not wrong, there should be ghost energy in her body, and this just so happens to restrain the undead. Therefore, even if the young master had a lot of corpses to protect himself, he might not be able to defeat her. And, at this point, he paused and glanced at Elder Hong. "You have any guesses? Just say it." Elder Hong said impatiently. If the young master really used the undead back then, with her intelligence, she should have already guessed that the Northern Du clan was behind the undead. Yang Wei said. Elder Hong's hands trembled. "How likely do you think this guess is?" 90%. Yang Wei said, "If at this time she spreads this news, the Northern Du clan, bring your clansmen and stay here. You're not allowed to go out and cause trouble. I'm going to look for the clan head." Elder Hong said, got up and left quickly. Yang Wei looked at his hurried back and laughed silently. "Sima Yue against the hidden clan, do you still have the confidence to win?" What kind of decision the Northern Du clan would make was not something he could control, but he believed that with this information the Northern Du clan would definitely not ignore Sima Yue. Just the fact that she might know that the Northern Du clan had something to do with the undead was enough for them to kill her. Thinking about Sima Yue's possible ending, the knot in his heart dissipated a lot. And as he expected, this news had indeed alarmed the entire Northern Du clan, and they all gathered together to discuss how to deal with this matter. "This Sima Yue, we can't let her live." This was the unanimous opinion of all the Northern Du clan members. But on what to do, everyone had different opinions. "Since the undead are useless to her, we can't use this. She hasn't announced this to the world because there's no evidence. If we send the undead to kill her, wouldn't we be handing the evidence to her?" "That's right. It's best if we don't show ourselves. That way she won't shift her attention to us." "Then it's best not to just target her. I think we should kill the entire Sima family." "That's fine. Because of the Yang clan, Paramount Valley's current position is a little special. If we attack them at this time, it will cause unnecessary trouble. And the Sima family has always kept a low profile. If we kill a Sima family, no one will link it to us. It's best to find an enemy of the Sima family. If we don't have an enemy, we can create one." "We do have an enemy." Elder Hong took out a piece of paper. When Sima Yue returned to the Sima family took the opportunity to exterminate a family. Although many died then, there were some fish that escaped the net. As long as we make use of this, it'll be fine. "Alright, then we'll leave this matter to Elder Hong." Patriarch Northern Du said, "Also spread the news that Eastern Lai Li was killed by Sima Yue. I think Eastern Lai clan won't stand by and do nothing." "Patriarch, Eastern Lai Li is already dead. Do we still have to continue our agreement with Eastern Lai clan?" "Of course we have to continue. Now we need Eastern Lai clan to be our cover." Patriarch Northern Du said. "Patriarch, about the undead. The Yang clan's move has been wasted. We can only go from the open to the dark. We have to nurture a new family to take over the Yang clan's position." Patriarch Northern Du said, "We've already chosen this family. You just need to teach them how to control the undead. Fortunately, there are still more than half of the undead left. We don't need to spend more than 10 years to prepare." Patriarch is wise. Sima Yue didn't know the decision made by the Northern Du clan. But because it would be her great-grandfather's 1200th birthday soon and there was nothing to do in Paramount Valley, she returned to the Sima family. When she returned to the clan, she found that the atmosphere in the clan wasn't very good. Everyone was frowning. She looked at Sima Luxian. The latter shrugged and said, "I've always been with you. How would I know about the clan's matters? We'll know when we meet the patriarch." Chapter 1678. The two of them went to look for Sima Zhiyuan and saw that everyone was frowning. "What's wrong?" Sima Yue looked at them in confusion. "Did something happen in the family?" Sima Zhiyuan sighed, still not saying anything. "Alright, from the looks of it, it shouldn't be a big deal. Tell me, what's the matter that's making you so conflicted?" Sima Yue sat on the empty chair at the bottom, and her hanging heart finally calmed down. "How do you know he's fine?" Sima Zhiyuan glared at her. "Can't you see that great-grandfather's hair is turning white? Didn't your hair turn white a long time ago?" Sima Yue glanced at him helplessly. Sima Zhiyuan glared at her. You little heartless one, I was so worried about you and you're still talking about me like that. You're worried about me. What's the matter? Let me see if it's really that worrisome, Sima Yue asked. It's all because of those ignorant brats. They actually dared to come to my residence to propose marriage. What the hell? My Yue is not someone that can be married to a nobody like them? He's not worthy. Sima Zhiyuan snorted coldly. Piff. Sima Yue and Sima Luxian spat out the tea in their mouths. Great-grandfather, what did you say? Someone is proposing to me? Sima Yue looked at everyone in surprise. Great-grandfather, you didn't agree, did you? Of course not. Do you think your great-grandfather is blind? Sima Zhiyuan snorted coldly. That's good. Sima Yue heaved a sigh of relief. But more people came after that. In just a short 2 months, 7 or 8 groups of people came. It really angered me to death. Sima Zhiyuan said. So, great-grandfather, do you think that no one wants to marry me? Sima Yue asked. No way. My Yue is the best. Those people are not worthy of you. Speaking of which, why wasn't there any news about Wu Lingyu? Is he asking for a beating? Sima Zhiyuan was very unhappy. He was delayed by something over there. Could it be that great-grandfather doesn't like me and wants to marry me off as soon as possible? Sima Yue pursed her lips. Says who? Isn't that right? Then why are you still upset? Sima Yue said with a smile. I'm just unhappy. Sima Zhiyuan snorted coldly. Alright, there's no need to worry about these things. There are other things that you need to worry about. Sima Yue said. Is it about the undead? Sima Hishun immediately guessed what she wanted to say. That's right. If this matter is not resolved, it will be suspended here. Sima Yue said. We all know about what happened in Paramount Valley. Although the Yang clan was forced to hide in the end, if we don't get rid of them completely, I'm afraid that there will be a huge problem in the future. Sima Zhiyuan said. The Yang family isn't the most important right now. What we need to guard against now is the hidden clan's Northern Du clan. Northern Du clan? If the Yang clan enters the Northern Du clan with their hatred towards me in Paramount Valley, I'm afraid that they will drag the Northern Du clan down with them. Sima Yue's expression turned serious, and the best way is to let them think that I'm a threat to them. Once the Northern Du clan believes it, I'm afraid that they will deal with me and the Sima family. Under such circumstances, it's indeed not good to deal with Paramount Valley. Our Sima family seems to be easier to deal with. Sima Hishun understood Sima Yue's worries. That's right, that's what I'm worried about too. Sima Yue said worriedly, I'm afraid that they will make a move on the Sima family. You don't have to worry about that. Sima Hishun smiled, our Sima family has already risen in recent years. Do you think it's that easy to deal with us now? As long as they don't use the undead, we don't have to worry. And they don't even dare to use them now. But I'm the one who implicated the family. Sima Yue felt very guilty when she thought of this. Zai, you're not right. Sima Zhiyuan said disapprovingly, you and the family are one. You helped the family rise, so we should protect you. That's right. Don't think too much about it. Sima Hishun said, we've been developing in secret for so many years, it's time for others to see our strength. You just have to go back to the family and stay in peace. You don't have to worry about anything else. Great-grandfather, great-uncle, I'm worried that the Northern Du clan won't do it themselves and will let others deal with us. So the family has to be more careful and be more cautious of others. We know. Sima Hishun agreed. If it was Sima Zhiyuan who said it, Sima Yue would have said a few more words. But since Sima Hishun said it, she didn't have to worry. Alright, since there's nothing else, I'll go back first. She stood up and said. Go. Luxian, stay behind and talk to us. Sima Zhiyuan waved at Sima Yue and waited for her to leave before saying to Sima Luxian, tell us what happened to her during this period. Yes, Patriarch. After Sima Yue returned to her courtyard, she immediately went into the spirit pagoda and rummaged through the treasure pavilion to see if there was anything else she could help the family with. After rummaging through it, she realized that the only thing she hadn't given to the Sima family was the arrays. Previously, she felt that this thing belonged to the 100 changing doors after all, but now that the situation was special and she had given the rubbing to the little old man, it shouldn't be a problem for her to use it. And now that the situation was special, she had to strengthen the family's defensive array. Thinking of this, she rubbed a copy of the Imperial Beast Art and Spirit Seeker's Origin together and told Bai Sheng to come and get it. Bai Sheng was very fast and came over to her place in a short while. Sima Yue passed the items to him and said, These are some cultivation methods that I've collected over the years. Take them back to Fenger, he will know what to do. To be safe, she had placed a restriction on the rubbing. Without the method that she had taught Shimen Feng, if anyone tried to open it by force, they would only destroy the rubbing. Bai Sheng took the items and left. She took the array book and went to look for Sima Zhiyuan. Great-grandfather, this is the birthday gift that I've prepared for you. Now that I've given it to you in advance, don't come looking for me for a birthday gift when the time comes. She placed the rubbing into Sima Zhiyuan's hands. Oh, you little girl, are you afraid that you won't be able to take this out on my birthday, so you're giving it to me in advance? Sima Zhiyuan said disdainfully. Haha, great-grandfather, you know me? Sima Yue didn't explain. She really couldn't take this out on the birthday banquet. Humph, let me see what you've prepared. Although Sima Zhiyuan appeared to be very disdainful, the corners of her mouth were raised, showing that she was in a good mood. Enough, who doesn't know that the things that Yue gives are all good things? Just keep showing off. Sima He-shun couldn't help but expose him. He just didn't like this arrogant look of his, he really didn't like it no matter how he looked at it. Chapter 1679. Love, Sima Zhiyuan looked at the thing inside and asked in surprise, Child, where did you get this thing? This is a lost treasure of the 100 changing doors. Lingyu gave it to me. Sima Yue said, I've already sent a copy to the 100 changing doors. If we use it, will they find trouble with us? I don't think so. This item was found by Lingyu, and I've already returned a portion to them. So, they shouldn't find trouble with us anymore. Just don't let anyone know about it. Good, man. Sima Zhiyuan shouted towards the outside. A guard came in and ordered him, Go and invite third elder over. The guard took the order and left. Sima Yue stood up and said, I'm going to take a look at the family's defense array and see if there's anything I can do. Wait for a while. Let third brother take you there. The defensive array is so big. It's better to have someone to guide you. The matter of the array has always been handled by third elder. He is most clear on the matter of the defensive array. Sima He-shun said. Alright then. Sima Yue sat back down. When third elder arrived and heard Sima Zhiyuan explain the origins of the stone rubbing, he was extremely shocked and wanted to immediately take it down to study it. However, Sima Zhiyuan asked him to bring Sima Yue to look at the defensive array. Although Sima Yue was just a junior to him, everyone knew that she had an extraordinary status in the family. Therefore, although his heart was itching unbearably, he could only restrain himself and take her to see the defense array. He originally thought that it was just a formality. Although she was very accomplished in alchemy, she shouldn't be that good in array formations. However, she didn't expect that after she understood the entire defense array, she would only need to change a few points to increase its defensive capabilities. Third elder, do the forces outside the family also use this defensive array? Sima Yue asked. Yes. It's just that they've shrunk. Third elder's expression turned serious, and he showed more respect to Sima Yue. Then you should understand the changes just now. Follow these instructions and have them strengthen their respective defensive arrays. All right. To be on the safe side, the third elder brought the array masters of the clan to take a look at the defense array. He also told them about the places that Sima Yue had changed and asked them to remember them. After that, they went to the forces outside to strengthen their defense array. When the formation masters returned, they began to study the formation books that Sima Yue had given them. The following days were relatively peaceful. The Sima family prepared for Sima Zhiyuan's 1200th birthday banquet and invited a few people who were on good terms with them to attend. But the peace was broken before the birthday banquet. On this day, Sima Yue and Sima Luxian were discussing the matter of searching for spirits when Enlei came in from outside and bowed to the two of them, saying, Young miss, something happened. What happened? I heard from outside that several groups of people who came to attend the birthday banquet were attacked by unknown people, Enlei replied. I heard that some people even died. Did the family send someone to pick them up? Sima Luxian asked. I've already sent someone. But we received the news relatively late, so the situation is still quite serious. Enlei replied. I'll go and take a look. Sima Luxian nodded at Sima Yue and got up to leave. Sima Yue watched his back as he left. She called out some scarlet bees and asked them to go to Sima Zhiyuan's place to investigate. Did you hear anything else? No. Enlei shook her head. I heard this and came back to tell young Mississippi. Young miss, do you think this is the work of the Northern Dew family? It's not impossible. They have been quiet for so long, it's very likely that they will make a move at this time. Sima Yue knocked on the table with one hand. Since they will make a move on these people, they might also make a move on the other guests. If great-grandfather's birthday banquet is ruined by these people, that would be depressing. Will the patriarch send someone to pick up the people behind? Unlay asked. No matter how great-grandfather and the others send people, it's impossible for them to take care of everything. If the other party is targeting us, they will definitely be prepared. We have to think of other ways. Sima Yue pondered. After a while she said, the Scarlet Bee sent news, great-grandfather and the others have already sent people to pick up the others. Then what else do we need to do? Unlay looked at Sima Yue. Sima Yue thought about it, then called out Little Rock, Halcyon and the others, saying, Little Rock, you already understand the situation. I want to ask you to send a request to the various bird clans. Get them to step out and protect those people if they encounter such a situation. If there's a need, you can also release Crimson Flame's aura. No problem. Little Rock nodded and left with Chongming. Sima Yue didn't know how the bird clans communicated with each other, but if there were bird clans protecting them along the way, then there wouldn't be too much of a problem. Not long after she sent out the message, another message came through Little Rock's contract platform. Another group of people was intercepted along the way, but Chongming and the others happened to be nearby, so they led the bird clans to rescue them. The bird clans' attacks were very strong, and with their rescue those people were safe and sound and they even caught a few alive. We sent them to protect those people and we also let them bring the few alive over. We'll go to other places to take a look. Little Rock said. You guys be careful. Other than protecting their safety, try to find out who did this. Sima Yue instructed. Okay. Don't worry, great-grandfather's birthday banquet will go smoothly. Little Rock comforted. I'll have to trouble you guys. Very quickly, the people escorted by the bird clans arrived, and they didn't encounter any other people or incidents along the way, and they successfully arrived at the Sima family. It was only then that Sima Zhiyuan and the others knew that Sima Yue had sent the bird clans, but they couldn't go and find her now, and they had to interrogate the people who were sent along with her to find out who was the mastermind behind this. At the same time, in other places, a few groups of people were also assassinated, but they were all destroyed by the sudden appearance of the bird clans. In the end, those people were all escorted by the bird clans to the Sima family. The bird clans cleared the way. This was a high-level treatment that was hard to enjoy in the past, and those people didn't expect to be able to enjoy this after being frightened. The discomfort in their hearts about getting killed because they were on good terms with the Sima family had disappeared. How many people in this world could mobilize the bird clans? How many bird clans were there in the entire continent, and how powerful the Sima family was? When the people who wanted to deal with the Sima family found out that the bird clans had interfered, they had no choice but to give up their plans. If they fought with the bird clans, not only would they not achieve the desired results, they would also suffer a double loss. In Sima Yue's courtyard, Enlai ran in hurriedly and said to Sima Yue, Young miss, the patriarch has sent someone to invite you over. He said that he wants to interrogate those people together. Let's go and see who is behind all this. Chapter 1680. The interrogation process was not troublesome. Those people quickly explained why they wanted to deal with those people. It turned out that everything was really aimed at the Sima family, but the reason was not because of the Northern Du family, but because of a reason that they did not expect. The Jianghu family, the family that wanted to annex the Sima family but was exterminated before Sima Yue returned to the family. There were still some fish that escaped the net. At that time, no one knew where he had hidden himself. Now he was using a sect called Qingling sect to take revenge. It was said that he had become the sect master's husband and had won the sect master's favor. She was willing to avenge him. I have never heard of this green spirit sect before. I don't know what kind of sect they are. Now that they have come to deal with us, I'm afraid it is not a coincidence. Sima Hishun said. You're saying that this was arranged by someone else? Great Elder asked. Very likely. Sima Hishun speculated, if this green spirit sect has some strength, then it's impossible for us not to have heard of them. This meant that he was only a small force. Would such a force dare to attack us? That's right, they dare to be so fearless towards us. It must be because someone is supporting them from behind. Sima Zhiyuan said, it should be the Northern Du clan who acted against us. Without direct evidence, we can't do anything to them, the Great Elder said hatefully. Humph, this little trick won't be a problem for us. Sima Zhiyuan didn't care about that power at all. Great-grandfather, I think they chose this time to make a move to ruin your birthday banquet. If this matter is not handled properly, it will affect the banquet that day. Sima Yue said, so we should be careful. Since you've already mobilized the bird clan, I believe they won't dare to do anything else. Sima Yue shook her head. Since they've already started, they won't be afraid of this. I think they are only holding back temporarily. If nothing happens during this period, something will definitely happen on the day of the birthday banquet. My thoughts are the same as Yu's. If something happens during the banquet and the guests are implicated, I'm afraid that this matter will be even more difficult to explain. Third elder said, if that's really the case, we have to be on guard. If I knew it would be so troublesome, I wouldn't have done this. Sima Zhiyuan said impatiently. Even if this didn't happen, they would have done it from another angle. It's all the same. Sima Yue said, these people are too lowly, they don't know anything. Right now we don't know what they're planning, but we'll deal with whatever comes our way. With absolute power, we don't have to be afraid of any schemes. What you said is wrong. Sima Zhiyuan laughed loudly. It's time for those people to see the power of our Sima family. Since they want to find trouble for us, we'll take this opportunity to become famous again. That's right, haha. Sima Yue looked at the enthusiastic elders and did not say anything. She only smiled. Reviving the Sima family was the long-cherished wish of the ancestors. Now that it was finally going to be realized, how could they not be happy? However, it was better to be careful. Since they were so happy, she would put in more effort. Chongzhou, where the Sima family lived, was very lively recently. There were many outsiders who came to celebrate Sima Zhiyuan's birthday. Some of the Sima family members who were outside also came back. It was rare for the Sima family to be so complete. Sima Yue also met those uncles and grandfathers. She followed Sima Luxian and met a circle of people. Fortunately, everyone was a cultivator and had a photographic memory. After a round of meetings, she remembered these elders. Before this, she was still thinking that the ones she saw the most in the clan were Sima Zhiyuan and the bunch of elders, or the younger ones like Sima Yiyun. The people from the middle two generations rarely appeared, but it turned out that they were all sent outside. After so many years, she had not seen many of them. Actually, these people would come back often, but Sima Yue did not spend much time in the family. When she was around, she would stay in her courtyard and not come out. Those people came and went in a hurry, so she did not see many of them. And with these people, she knew that great-grandfather was not the eldest in the family, but the youngest in that generation. She did not know why, but he became the head of the family. By the way, the people in their line were much younger than the others. It's a good thing that cultivators don't pursue having children. Otherwise, with this pile, there would be thousands of uncles, grandparents and the like. Sima Yu muttered softly. Sima Luxian was standing beside her. When he heard what she said, he smiled. There are more people on our side. Your mother's side has fewer relatives. The Ghost clan was even less interested in having children. Moreover, it was more difficult for the Ghost clan to have children, so there were fewer direct relatives. However, even so, the number of aunts and uncles was still considerable. Father, since the meeting is over, if there is nothing else, I will go back first. Sima Yue tugged at Sima Luxian's clothes and said softly. There was no need to talk about her status in the clan. When everyone saw her, they were very affectionate. Some aunts and uncles held her hand and praised her non-stop. Her heart was so sweet. Sima Luxian had long noticed that she was not comfortable here. He smiled and said, they like you too much. Alright, go back if you want to. I will tell them. Thank you, father. She smiled at Sima Luxian and turned to sneak away. Sima Luxian smiled helplessly when he saw her like this. He was considered a junior in the family, but since his daughter did not like such occasions, he would help her. Sima Yue returned to her courtyard and contacted Little Rock and the others. There were still 3 days before the birthday banquet. There were more people coming during this period of time, so Little Rock and the others were busier. I have already instructed them. They have already gone over in the name of escorting. Little Rock said. Are they willing to do such a big favor for us? What's there to be unhappy about? Who in the bird clan doesn't know that you are the contract master of the divine vermilion bird? It is their honor to help you. What's there to be unhappy about? Little Rock snorted. When they heard that they might be able to see Crimson Flame here, they were all very excited. If it weren't for us holding them back, they would have run over to you. Chongming also chimed in. Aren't you afraid that Crimson Flame will be angry? Sima Yue laughed. He won't. Although he doesn't like them, he is still the guardian of the bird clan. You won't dislike them. Little Rock laughed and said, well, there are still 3 days. Be careful. Use the power of the contract to rush back on the day of the birthday banquet. Sima Yue instructed. Chapter 1681. Everything she did was done in secret. Other than Sima Ji Yuan and a few others who knew about it, the other clansmen didn't know about it. Mobile phone access in these 3 days, even more people came to Chongzhou. Just like Shimin Feng's wedding, some people were invited, while others came on their own. They wanted to build a relationship with Sima Yue. The Green Spirit sect was also quiet these days and no one was intercepted. However, this made the Sima family even more vigilant. On the day of the birthday celebration, Sima Yue went to the front yard early in the morning. There were many guests today and they needed to help entertain the guests. Because she was young and her seniority was also very low, she should be receiving people from the younger generation. However, she was brought along by Sima Ji Yuan to receive those who were of higher seniority. If he had known earlier, he wouldn't have come. She was getting a headache from all the noise and couldn't help but mutter in her heart, Yue. Just when she wanted to find an excuse to leave, Su Lunyan and the rest walked over. And he. Sima Yue was suddenly energized and greeted her with a smile. He Zhenzhang came in front of Sima Ji Yuan and took the box from the guard beside him, saying, congratulations to brother Ji Yuan on your birthday. Haha, thank you old brother He for coming over personally. Please forgive us if there's anything we haven't done. Sima Ji Yuan laughed loudly. Because of Sima Yue, the relationship between the He family and the Sima family had been getting better. They were already calling each other brothers. At this time, 2 people came up from the side, took out a congratulatory gift and handed it to the Sima family and said, congratulations Sima family head. Sima Ji Yuan was stunned. Didn't these people come with the He clan? Great-grandfather, they're Su family's Uncle Su Yang and young Master Su Yu. Uncle Su Yang and Auntie He are twins. Sima Yue recognized them. Weren't they the 2 people she had saved before? So it's the Su clan's guests. Aha, please come in, please come in. Third elder, please bring them in. Sima Ji Yuan said. Brother Xion, since you're so busy here, third elder should stay here and greet the other guests. We don't have to go through so much trouble. Yue can come with us. This? Sima Ji Yuan was a little hesitant. One was the patriarch of the He family, while the other was an important guest of the Su family. It was a little inappropriate for a junior like Sima Yue to receive them. It's okay, we know Yue, other people might not be used to it, Su Lunyan said. Sima Ji Yuan saw that Su Yang and the others did not have any objections, so he said to Sima Yue, since this is the case, you will receive them. Yes, great-grandfather, I will definitely receive them well. Sima Yue happily bowed to Sima Ji Yuan, then blinked gratefully at Su Lunyan and smiled, Uncle He, Aunt He, Uncle Yang, please follow me. She brought them into the Sima family. Originally, she wanted to bring them to the guests' resting area, but Su Lunyan said that she wanted some peace and quiet, so she brought them to her own courtyard. She planned to bring them there before the banquet. Along the way, Su Lunyan was the one talking, while the other 3 were silent at the side. When they reached Sima Yue's courtyard, Su Lunyan grabbed Sima Yue's hand and said gratefully, Child, I really don't know how to thank you for what happened to your Uncle Yang. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have known that he was trapped in that place. You saved me first, then you saved Yue, and now you saved my brother. I really don't know how to thank you. And you're too polite. Isn't it a coincidence every time? Besides, I didn't do much, it was just a small matter. And you're treating me like an outsider. Sima Yue said with a smile. It's a small matter to you, but it means a lot to us. I know you don't like to hear this, so I'll only say it once. We will remember your kindness in our hearts. Su Lunyan patted her hand and said. After that, she did not mention anything about repaying her kindness. Yue, do you know anything about the Yang family? He Zhenzhang asked. Sima Yue blinked and thought about the grudge between the He and Yang family. They had been investigating the Yang family for so many years. Because of Su Lunyan, the Yang family and He family would not rest until one of them was dead. When the Yang family was attacked, the He family also contributed a lot. Now that the Yang family was hiding, they definitely wanted to find them and eliminate them completely. However, she did not tell them about the undead and the Northern Du family, so they could not guess where the Yang family was hiding. If I'm not wrong, the Yang family is hiding at the Northern Du family. Northern Du family? That hidden family? Su Yang frowned. If this matter was related to the hidden family, it would be troublesome. Didn't we suspect that there was someone behind the Yang family? Sima Yue looked at He Xinjiang and said slowly, "You found out?" He Xinjiang looked at her in surprise. All these years they had spent a lot of effort to find out the mastermind from the Yang family, but to no avail. "I didn't find out, I found out by chance." Sima Yue did not tell them about the matter between her and Northern Duhao. It was not that she did not trust them, but it was better if fewer people knew about it. Moreover, they only needed to know the result, the process was not that important. If the mastermind is really the Northern Du family, then this matter will be troublesome. Su Lunyan said worriedly. Yes, it is indeed troublesome. Sima Yue sighed. It was a pity that she did not have absolute strength and could not directly eliminate them to prevent future troubles. Is the incident that the guests encountered on the way related to them? Ziyu asked. They also heard that someone was killed on the way. At first, they thought that it was a personal grudge between the Sima family, but now it seemed that it was not as simple as they thought. The person who attacked us is someone called the Green Spirit Sect. They said that they wanted to avenge their sect master's husband. That person is called Jianghu, someone who escaped from the Jiang family. But how would we know if there is a mastermind behind this? Sima Yue laughed lightly. Since they did not succeed previously, I'm afraid that they will make another move later. Su Yang and the rest were quick-witted and quickly understood the twists and turns in the story. Yes, we think so too. Great-grandfather and the rest said that today would not be a smooth day. But we have also made preparations. We will make sure that they do not return. If the hidden clan is really behind this, I'm afraid that things will not be so easy. If something really happens, we will not stand by and do nothing. Su Lunyan said. Thank you so much. Sima Yue bowed to Su Lunyan and did not reject their good intentions. Whether she needed their help or not was one thing, but their intentions were another. Chapter 1682. Su Lunyan and the rest stayed in Sima Yue's courtyard until the banquet started. And Lei came in from outside and said that most of the guests had arrived. Sima Zhiyuan said that the banquet was about to begin. Sima Yue nodded at her and said to Su Lunyan, "Aunt He, the preparations are almost done. Let's go over." All right. Sima Yue brought them to the banquet venue and saw that the other guests had already taken their seats. "Young miss, your seats are in front. Please follow me." A maidservant hurried forward when she saw Sima Yue. Sima Yue knew that she was waiting for them there. She nodded and said, "Let's go over." They walked along the edge of the arena, leaving them a seat that was closer to Sima Zhiyuan's main seat. "Uncle He, Aunt He, Uncle Yang, so you sit here." Sima Yue led them to their seats. "All right. You go back to your seat too." Boom. Before Su Lunyan could finish her sentence, a deafening sound was heard from outside. What happened? Could it be those people? All the guests were in an uproar as they recalled the assassination attempt. "Patriarch, let's go and take a look." Sima Lu Feng and the others stood up and said to Sima Zhiyuan, "Go ahead. No matter who they are, they don't have good intentions. You don't have to show mercy." Sima Zhiyuan said. "Yes, Patriarch." Sima Lu Feng, Sima Lu Yun and Sima Lu Xian left the venue and flew to mid-air. They saw the guards and a group of people in a deadlock above the Sima family. "Who are you people?" Sima Lu Feng shouted. "Sima Lu Feng, you don't recognize me so quickly?" A man's face was gloomy as he looked at Sima Lu Feng with a murderous look. Sima Lu Feng glanced at the person who came and said, "Diske, I was wondering who it was. I didn't expect it to be a street rat like you. Jianghu, I heard that you've become someone's man. Why don't you hide yourself properly? How dare you come out and make a fool of yourself?" "Sima Lu Feng, your Sima family coveted my Jiang family's property and plotted to exterminate my Jiang family. Today I'm here for revenge." Jianghu shouted, "Today is the day your Sima family dies. You dare to think about it?" Sima Lu Yun's face was solemn, he was imposing without being angry. "Aha, Sima Lu Yun, do you think everyone is afraid of your Sima family? Today not only do I dare to think about it, I also dare to do it." Jianghu shouted. "Deske with just a few of you?" Sima Lu Feng pointed at the 10 over people. "Today is my master's birthday banquet. If you all scram now, we can still let you live for 2 more days. Otherwise, I wouldn't mind using your blood to celebrate my master's birthday." "Husband." A woman flew over to Jianghu's side. "You're the sect leader of the Green Spirit sect? A small force that I have never heard of dares to fight with the Sima family for such a man. Their courage is commendable." Umph. We usually don't come out. Do you think the world is surnamed Sima? The sect leader of the Green Spirit sect snorted coldly and said to Jianghu, "Husband, we don't need to talk nonsense with them, let's go." The sect leader of the Green Spirit sect clapped his hands, and many people flew out from the crowd outside. They wore the same clothes as the people of the Green Spirit sect, but they were much stronger. Sima Yue had been watching the situation from below. When she saw these people coming out, she said to Huang Yingying beside her, "These people don't look like people from the Green Spirit sect." You can tell? Although they wear the same clothes and try to pretend to be the same, their aura is still slightly different. Sima Yue said. Then are these people from the Northern Du family? Huang Yingying asked. Not really. I think they should be from somewhere else. Grandma, I'll go up and take a look. Be careful. Knowing her ability, Huang Yingying did not object. She just reminded her and let her go up. Seeing Sima Yue come up, Jianghu and the sect leader of the Green Spirit sect looked at each other secretly. Sima Yue came to her father's side and stopped. Sima Luxian glared at her and said, "Why are you here?" "I came up to see which force has such ambition to help a small Green Spirit sect to deal with my Sima family." Sima Yue directly exposed them. "They are not together?" Sima Lu Feng asked. Although they try to make themselves look the same, a fake is a fake. After Sima Yue finished speaking, she disappeared from the spot, and then quietly appeared behind the other party's camp and caught them off guard. She was behind Sima Luxian and was not afraid of the other party's attack. She took out Ling Long, turned it into a dagger and wiped the neck of the other party. Blood spurted out. From her disappearance to her death, it only took a few breaths. This change was so fast that Jianghu and others' faces changed. They didn't feel any movement at all just now. The man didn't seem to think that he would die like this, and his eyes were still blank. Sima Yue probed into his sea of consciousness. After finding the information she wanted, she threw him out. "Father, this person is from the 16 States Yu family," she said to Sima Luxian. "Yu family?" Sima Lu Feng frowned. They didn't have any contact with the Yu family. How could they be willing to be the executioner? The Yu family and the Yang family have a good relationship. They are thousands of years old families. Sima Yue said, "These people are not from the Green Spirit sect. Yu family. No matter what family they are, if they want to fight with us, the result will be the same." Sima Lu Feng took out his spirit weapon and planned to fight. The Yu family didn't expect Sima Yue to have this trick. She knew their identity so quickly through the memory. Since they were exposed, the Yu family no longer hid their identity. The aura of the inconspicuous man beside Jianghu changed. He stared at Sima Yue and said faintly, "Sima Yue, you are really powerful. No wonder the Yang family fell into your hands. What does your Yu family mean by helping the Green Spirit sect? Do you want to avenge the Yang family?" Sima Yue looked back at him. "Or are you, like the Yang family, also involved in the undead? Don't try to label us like this. If my Yu family was related to the undead, would we dare to look for you with such great fanfare?" The man didn't fall for it. My Yu family and the Yang family had an agreement that if one family was in trouble, the other family would avenge it. We are just fulfilling the agreement now. So, the people who intercepted our guests some time ago were also you. Sima Luxian stood in front of Sima Yue and looked at the man coldly. "We won't do such a brainless thing." The man said, "It will only work when people are here." "What do you mean?" "Haha, to tell you the truth, your guests are now poisoned. If you don't want anything to happen to them, you should obediently surrender. After that, we will naturally give them the antidote." Jianghu laughed at the side. Chapter 1683. 1 second to remember. Love divided by you? Read book web. Update fast, no pop-up window, free to read. As soon as Jianghu's words fell, the people present were a little panicked. Those guests were worried that they were really poisoned, and they used their spirit power to check. The Sima family was also worried that something would happen to the guests here, and quickly asked the doctor to check. "Who told you to do this?" Not only the people here but the Yu family was also surprised. "I have my own arrangements. No matter what the process is, as long as the result is the same." Jianghu laughed. "Master Yu, our purpose is the same. Do you know how many people you will offend by doing this?" The Yu family recognized that there were many people below who were on par with their Yu family, and there were even some who were more powerful than them. If they offended all of them and everyone came to deal with them, then their Yu family would end up like the Yang family. Sima Luxian looked at Jianghu and then looked at the Yu family and had some thoughts in his mind. It seems that the targeting of the guests had nothing to do with the Yu family. The person who intercepted and got Jianghu to poison them halfway was not them, but someone else. Sima Lu Yun, have you thought about it? As long as your Sima family surrenders, we will immediately give them the antidote. Jianghu said, no one has the antidote for this poison except us. You want us to surrender? Don't even think about it. Sima Lu Yun snorted coldly. Why, you don't care about the life and death of these guests? Aha. Everyone, did you hear that? The Sima family who doesn't care about your life and death. Do you still want to celebrate the birthday of their patriarch? The faces of some guests changed, but no one said anything, waiting for the Sima family's decision. Maybe some of them wanted to do something, but seeing that most people didn't move, they couldn't jump out alone to accuse the Sima family. And seeing that the expressions of the Sima family didn't change, each of them had a card up their sleeve, so there should be no problem. The poison you said, are you referring to that person? Sima Lu Yun glanced below, and immediately someone brought a person dressed in the Sima family's servant costume and tied up. Seeing the person tied up, Jiang Kuan's face changed. You are not poisoned? He exclaimed. You want to poison my Sima family with such a person? You're looking down on us too much. Sima Lu Feng said delightedly, say it, what other tricks do you have? Hurry up and use it. After this, I'm afraid I won't even have the chance to talk anymore. Next move? What other tricks did he have up his sleeve? His most effective move had been nipped in the bud by them. What other moves did he have? How is that possible? He clearly sent a message back saying that he had succeeded. How could he have been caught by you? He kept shaking his head. Don't you know that there's a word called coercion and bribery? Sima Yue looked at him as if he was an idiot. However, this person isn't from your Qingling sect, right? Other than the Yu clan, there's someone else behind you. What? The people who were most surprised were not the people from the Green Spirit sect who had been exposed, but the Yu family. Ha ha ha, surnamed Yu, you've all been taken for fools. Sima Lu Feng clutched his stomach and laughed. Jiang Kuan, is what they said true? Elder Yu, whether there's someone behind us or not has nothing to do with the cooperation between us. Our purpose is to kill the Sima family and Sima Yue. As for the rest, why bother so much? Jiang Kuan said. The Yu clan man snorted coldly but didn't say anything. Sima Lu Yun, even if you didn't poison them, you won't be able to escape death today. Elder Yu, it's impossible to be kind to them today. It's better to take action and settle this quickly. Jiang Kuan said. The Yu clan also knew that they couldn't be kind today and didn't plan to be. He waved his hand and those who came out just now attacked the Sima family's guards. The Sima family's people were not weak either. They all went up and a group of people fought directly above the Sima family. Fortunately, their defensive array was automatically activated when they were attacked, so they didn't destroy the Sima family's house. Patriarch, the spirit skills outside are quite beautiful. This spectacular scene can also be seen as fireworks for your birthday. Sima Chi said with a smile. Well, not bad. Sima Jiyuan liked these words very much. These people dared to find trouble with the Sima family and chose to do it on his birthday. They were so annoying. The guests were a little shocked when they saw them talking and laughing. This Sima family was just a small force. How could they be so calm in the face of the families of the 16th state? Brother Jiyuan, if there's anything you need, we can also help. He Zhenjiang said. Haha, you are all guests of my Sima family. How can you let the guests fight? The Yu clan only sent some people over, not all of them. My Sima family can still resist. Come, everyone eat and drink to your heart's content. Sima Jiyuan greeted everyone with a smile. The guests looked at each other and their eyes had the same meaning. When did the Sima family become so greedy? Even if they had a genius descendant, they couldn't challenge a big family, right? But looking at the Sima family, it seemed that they really didn't put the Yu clan in their eyes. Since the host was like this, what could the guests say? So they all began to eat and drink. This time, they invited the chef of Memory Restaurant. Now more or less, the people of the mainlands like to eat at Memory Restaurant, so everyone liked today's meal very much. They could eat delicious food and there was a good show to watch. This was the first birthday banquet. Sima Yue stood in the air and didn't make a move. After she called Little Seven and the others out, she locked herself in a space lock, so the spiritual skills around her couldn't hurt her at all. The Yu clan thought that these guards should be easy to deal with, but they didn't expect to encounter a tough bone. They couldn't take down the Sima family at all. I've long heard that the Sima family has a spiritual skill that can merge contract beasts and humans into one to increase their strength. Seeing it today, it really lives up to its reputation. The guests below said enviously. They could all see that the Sima clansmen were slightly weaker than the Yu clansmen, but after they called out their contracted beasts to fuse with them, their strength increased greatly. The Yu clansmen didn't have any advantage at all, instead, most of their people were killed. Sima Yue looked at Jianghu, who was stubbornly resisting. Aren't you going to contact the people behind you now? Jianghu looked at the one-sided situation and didn't dare to count on the Yu clan anymore. He took out a piece of jade and crushed it, then pulled his wife back and no longer participated in the battle. At this time there was a change in space. Sima Yue looked up and saw a door open in the air, and a group of people wrapped in black appeared in front of everyone. Sima Yue narrowed her eyes when she saw these people. These people in black were similar to those who caused trouble in the central regions. Chapter 1684. Sima Lu Xian estimated that there were hundreds of men in black, and each of them was strong. If it was the Sima family's previous strength, it would not have been easy to deal with these people. Although they had the advantage in numbers, numbers didn't matter in front of a true expert. But now, these few hundred people were not enough to hurt them. My lord. Jianghu bowed to the leader of the black-clothed men. A bunch of trash. The black-clothed man glanced at Jianghu contemptuously with his exposed eyes. Jianghu couldn't even handle such a small matter. If it weren't for the hatred between him and the Sima family, he would have killed him now. Jianghu was scolded, but he did not dare to refute anything. He just nodded in agreement. However, the sect master of the Qingling sect was very angry. He wanted to go forward and argue, but was stopped by Jianghu. Jianghu shook his head at her. Although the sect leader was angry, she calmed down. Sima Yue was watching from the side. The sect leader really had some feelings for Jianghu. Who are you? Sima Lufeng asked. The one who will take your life. The leading black-clothed man snorted. Go, leave no one from the Sima family alive today. You. Cloud guards go. Sima Lu Yun waved his hand and those guards from before retreated. Cloud guards flew up from below and fought with those black-robed men. This was the first time Sima Yue saw the cloud guards fight. Their strength was much stronger than ordinary guards, and their contracted spirit beasts were also more powerful, so their strength after fusion was even more powerful. He didn't seem to be at a disadvantage when fighting with those black-clothed men. Father, Uncle Yun, it's great-grandfather's birthday today. It's not good to drag it out and let the guests laugh at us. Sima Yue said. End it quickly. Sima Lu Yun ordered. When the cloud guards heard this, they immediately retreated. They removed the fusion and called out their contracted ancient spiritual beasts. The appearance of the archaic spiritual beast shocked everyone. A few hundred ancient spirit beasts, this was a huge sum that even the hidden tribes could not take out. The cloud guards merged together once more. Each of them had a primordial aura, and their combat prowess was even stronger. You guys can go too. The earlier we settle this, the earlier we can get this over with. Sima Lu Xian said to the guards who had retreated. Those guards also took out their archaic spiritual beasts and attacked again after fusing with them. Just now, the ancient spirit beasts had not been digested, and these people revealed their own ancient spirit beasts. The guests and the people outside were frightened once again. Sima family head, you actually have so many ancient spirit beasts. Someone said enviously. Haha, these are all things that you brought back from the ancient mines. At that time it was just some ores. Who would have thought that there would be so many ancient spiritual beasts? We were also very surprised at that time. Sima Zhiyuan laughed. She brought all of them back? Everyone looked at Sima Yue in a different light. Yeah. Yue has inherited her father's talent and is very talented in seeking out spirits. Sima Zhiyuan said proudly. Isn't she an array master and alchemist? I didn't expect him to be a seeker spirit master. Someone whispered. That's right. I always tell her not to bite off more than she can chew. She should just focus on one subject. But this was because he was too talented and learned everything very well. So I just let him be. When everyone heard this, they all rolled their eyes in their hearts and said that he was showing off. However, I heard that those people from the primordial era are looking for primordial spirit beasts everywhere. If they know that you have contracted so many primordial spirit beasts, will there be trouble? He Zhenjiang was also shocked in his heart, but his concern was also genuine. You don't have to worry about that. Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior already knew that we have so many ancient spirit beasts. They know. Yes. Sima Zhiyuan nodded. Little Lucky had been following Sima Yu the entire time, and Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior had naturally been paying attention to their situation. He had long known about the Sima clan's contract with the ancient spirit beasts, but he didn't say anything. I heard that the ancient spirit beasts sent many gifts to Paramount Valley's Valley Lord's wedding. They said that they were for Yue. Is she on good terms with the ancient spirit beasts? Someone asked. Yue and Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior have nothing to do with each other, but his son likes her and often stays by her side. Sima Zhiyuan said. Everyone looked up and saw Little Lucky, who had come out of the spirit pagoda and was lying on Sima Yue's head watching the show. Some of the people present had seen Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior before. Now that they saw the miniature version of Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior, they were very surprised. However, they did not feel the power of a contract from him. He didn't contract with Yue, right? No, he is Supreme Fifth Spirit Senior's only son. How would we dare to contract with him? It's just that he likes Yue more, so he sticks to her. When they heard this, everyone had different thoughts. However, their understanding of Sima Yue had increased by another level. She had contracted so many ancient spirit beasts and he did not pursue the matter. There was no one else who could have such a good relationship with ancient spirit beasts. Why didn't they have such a relationship? The news of the Sima family having ancient spirit beasts had never been made public, so no one knew about it. The black-robed men were not prepared for this sudden turn of events. The situation was almost one-sided. The black-robed men, Yu family and Green Spirit sect were not able to touch the Sima family. Instead, they were almost annihilated by the Sima family. Don't think that you can escape this calamity just because you have these. The leader of the black-robed men took out a signal and sent it out. Then he sneered, no matter what, you can't escape death today. When he spoke, his gaze was fixed on Sima Yue. His eyes were filled with killing intent, as if he had a deep hatred for her. Sima Yu wouldn't be frightened by a single glance from him, but her heart was filled with curiosity. These people were obviously here for her. But she didn't know which group it was? Damn, she had unknowingly made so many enemies. Not long after that person sent out the signal, there was another movement in the space. This time there were not many people who came out. There were only a dozen of them, but it made everyone's expression change. These people were all Paragon-ranked experts. This time even Sima Lu Yun and the others frowned. Sima Zhiyuan wanted to come up, but Sima Yue turned around and smiled at him. Great-grandfather, today is your birthday banquet, how can you leave the guests alone? Just leave these people to us, why do we need you to come out? Sima Zhiyuan knew Sima Yue's trump card. After thinking about it, he did not move and called out to the guests, come, everyone continued to eat. Seeing that they were so calm, the guests smiled and went back to eating and drinking. After Sima Yue finished speaking, she came to Sima Lu Xian and the others. Looking at the black-robed men who came out, she said impatiently, do you still have a backup plan? If you do, call them all. This time, even if you don't find it troublesome, we do. Who dares to be disrespectful to my master? Just as she finished speaking, a group of people rushed over from all directions. Chapter 1685. The onlookers thought that more people were coming. When they turned around, they realized that they were all transformed spirit beasts. Young miss, we're here. An old man grinned as he ran to Sima Yu's side and bowed respectfully. Why did you all come out? Sima Yue looked at these people, oh no, birds, and asked. Their agreement was not to come out without her order, right? These evildoers are too boring. One of them will come in a while. We are worried about young Miss Safety, so we came to exterminate them. The old man laughed. Exterminate them? Did you see their strength clearly? Sima Yue asked in amusement. The old man was stunned. They did not notice the strength of these people just now. They only saw groups of people coming and were worried about Sima Yu's safety, so they ran over. It didn't matter if he didn't look, but when he did, he was still shocked. Why are there so many high-level Paragon experts? This old man was also a high Paragon, but the others weren't. There were only 4 or 5 bird race members and the others were still a bit weaker. They did not expect the other party to send so many people to deal with Sima Yue. People of the bird clan, it's best that you don't interfere in today's matters. Although your bird clan is powerful, distant water can't quench your present thirst. You'd better stay at the side. You dare to make a move on young miss? You must have eaten a bear's heart and a leopard's gall. Aren't you afraid of my bird race's revenge? The old man shouted. Now that she's dead, can you birds still unite? Besides, you can't find out who we are, so who are you going to take revenge on? The man laughed sinisterly. Your bird clan is indeed powerful, but the only thing you're lacking is that you didn't bring your elders with you today. Even if that's the case, you won't be able to touch a single strand of her hair today. The old man was no longer smiling as he stood in front of Sima Yue with a serious expression. Sai, I never thought that Crimson Flame would one day become the reason why you want to kill me. Do you want the bird race to be in chaos so that the world will be in chaos? Let me think, who is behind you? Northern Du clan? Or the Eastern Lai clan? Or the Ouyang clan? Oh, it shouldn't be the Xianqiu clan, right? Humph, you won't be able to guess our identities. If I go to hell, I might be able to guess a thing or two. Sima Yue sighed again and said, it seems like I won't be able to get anything out of him today. Aunt Xiang, I'll have to trouble you again. As soon as she finished speaking, the door to the little realm opened, and Feng Xiang and the others appeared. Feng people's people. The other party recognized Feng Xiang and the others at a glance. Why are you so surprised? Don't you know what happened in the Lost Land? Don't you know that my family's Yue is the young miss of the Feng people? Sima Lu Feng clicked his tongue and sighed, even so, you still dare to come and seek death, you really have guts. Aunt Xiang, I'll have to trouble you to clean up these people. Sima Yue said to Feng Xiang, today is great-grandfather's birthday. And Xiang, you guys end this quickly. Don't let the guests see you as a joke. Yes, Mississippi, 2 of the Feng people's people stayed by Sima Yue's side to guard, while the others attacked those men in black. Those pitiful men in black, they just came and didn't even have the chance to show off before they were taken to the air by the Feng people to be cleaned up. The remaining people were handed over to the cloud guards. Sima Yue pulled Xiaoxi down from the head and stood beside Sima Lu Xian, watching those people fight. Very quickly, those people were subdued and all of them were taken away. As for those people who were dragged away by the Feng people to fight, their lives were left in the air and none of them returned. From the beginning to the end, the Sima family's people were Sima Lu Xian's generation and Sima Yue's generation. These people weren't worthy of the higher-ups of the family to come out. When the battle ended, the banquet was almost over, and the guests left one after another. And the news of the Sima family's incident that day spread quickly. After that, there was a lot of news that other than ancient spirit beasts, the Sima family also had many rare elixirs. They also won a certain elixir competition, and it was said that they recently found another mineral vein. Later on, the Sima family's actions became more high-profile, and gradually performed well in alchemy, arrays, spirit-seeking and other aspects. At this time, everyone discovered that the Sima family had quietly risen. I didn't expect the Sima family to hide the news so tightly in the past. It's only been a few years and their strength has increased so much. I don't know how powerful they will be in the future. He Zhenjiang went back and heard the news and he was very emotional. When the incident with the Jiang family happened that year, the Sima family was just an inconspicuous family. I didn't expect them to become so powerful in just a few years. Su Lunyan was also very emotional. Madam, did you notice that these are all external conditions? The Sima family hasn't been rising for a long time, so their strength didn't increase much. They are so powerful now because of the accumulation of external conditions. He Zhenjiang said. You're right, but with these external conditions added together, their overall strength is very strong. In time, their internal strength will increase and they will be a famous sect in the future. Su Lunyan replied, and all of this was brought by Yu. It would be great if we also had such a powerful junior. Sister, you said that the changes in the Sima family were brought by Sima Yue? When Su Yang spoke to his sister, the hostility on his body lessened. Yes. Su Lunyan talked about the situation of the Sima family. Although the Sima family was very low-key these years, there were some changes. The He family was close to them and they paid more attention to the Sima family, so they knew about these small changes. They knew that the Sima family was getting stronger, but they didn't expect that when they showed their trump card, it would be so shocking. This Sima Yue's luck is really good. Su Yu's words were still a little envious. Sai, this is not a good thing. Su Yang said. Sai. He Zhenjiang and Su Lunyan sighed. Only Su Yu didn't know why the three of them were frowning. Other than them, the others were also talking about the Sima family, their ancient spirit beasts, their ancient pills and so on. For a moment, the Sima family's name could be heard in the streets and alleys. As for the Sima family, after Sima Zhiyuan's birthday, those who came back to wish him a happy birthday left one after another, and the family returned to how it was before. However, it seemed to be a little different. In Sima Yue's words, these guys were all smiling now and they were in good spirits. After sending the guests away, Sima Zhiyuan brought Sima Yue to interrogate those people who were caught that day. Originally, Sima Yue didn't have to go, but Sima Zhiyuan still called her. At that time, it would be more effective than any other method to probe her divine sense. Chapter 1686. However, Sima Yue did not have much hope. If those people really understood her, they would know that she could use spiritual consciousness. Moreover, judging from the fearless looks of those people before, they should have come prepared. Based on the careful style of those men in black, they would not leave any traces behind. As expected, Sima Yue had discovered restrictions in their sea of consciousness. If she tried to break through them forcefully, their sea of consciousness would shatter. Not only that, as long as they wanted to confess, they would die. There was no way to break the spell. Therefore, after some effort, they did not receive any news at all. Actually, it's not like we didn't gain anything. Sima Hishun said when he saw that Sima Zhiyuan was very angry. Old fellow, what did you think of? Sima Zhiyuan asked. We're all aware of the 16 states Yu clan's strength, and these black-clothed men are far above them. They must be very powerful to be able to bring out so many high-level ultimate gods at once. To be able to possess these things, it was definitely much better than the Yu clan. I think that other than the hidden clans, no one else would have such a large expenditure. Sima Hishun analyzed. Great uncle, do you think Northern Du family did this? Sima Yue asked. The Yu clan might have been set up by the Northern Du clan, but those black-clothed men shouldn't be. Sima Hishun said, this black-clothed man intends to use you to cause unrest in the Bird clan. I'm afraid that there are even more unknown motives behind it. What about the Dong Lai clan? I have some enmity with the Eastern Lai clan. This way I can kill two birds with one stone. The Dong Lai clan is possible, and so are the other hidden clans. Sima Hishun said, however, now that they know that you have Feng people protecting you, they won't dare to do anything to you. I hope they'll come. At least we'll be able to get some clues. Sima Yue sighed. Oh yeah, I think something's going on with the Yin clan. How so? Sima Yue told her about her discovery of the hidden clan's unusual behavior on the Lost Island. She then shared her conjecture. Eastern Lai Li hates Northern Du Hao very much. However, she got engaged not long after and was so high profile during the Crimson Pearl convention. So I guess that they had some kind of purpose, but I ruined it in the end. I think so. If that is the case, they must think that you are their nemesis. Sima Hishun rarely teased her. Don't you have a good relationship with the young master of the Shenqiu clan? Why don't you ask him? Sima Zhiyuan said. Last time we parted on bad terms with the Shenqiu clan. Now, I don't even know if he's willing to see me. Moreover, regarding the black-clothed men, I wouldn't have suspected the Shenqiu clan in the past. However, judging from the previous incident, the Shenqiu clan might not be involved. If we look for him rashly, we might alert him. Sima Yue had mixed feelings when she thought of Shen Qiuhe. Then let us investigate this matter. Sima Zhiyuan said. Alright, I'll go out for a walk and see if I can get any information. If you want to go out for a walk, then I'll leave this matter to you. Sima Zhiyuan took out an invitation and handed it to her. Sima Yue opened it and took a look. It was an invitation from the 5th Province's Yuan clan, saying that they were inviting geniuses from various industries to gather and discuss. This kind of gathering happened frequently in this continent. However, they would usually invite people they were familiar with or those with outstanding talents. In the past, the Sima family would not be invited. However, everyone knew that the Sima family had risen up and they had a genius like Sima Yue. That was why they sent the invitation. 5th Province's Yuan clan? Sima Yue looked at the person who signed the invitation with a deep gaze. What's wrong with the Yuan clan? Sima Hishun asked. Take a look at this. Sima Yue took out a stack of information and handed it to them. This is the information that I asked the Shen Yuan Pavilion to investigate. The Yuan clan was involved in poisoning your mother? Sima Zhiyuan and the others were shocked when they saw it. She actually asked people to investigate this information. Was she planning to take revenge for her mother? I won't let go of what happened back then. I will repay whoever treats my mother well. I won't let anyone who poisoned my mother off either. Sima Yue said faintly. Sima Zhiyuan returned the information to her and said, if you want to do it, then do it. Anyway, you don't have to think so much now. They had no reason to stop her from taking revenge for her mother. Furthermore, she had the right to do so now. Are you letting your father go with you? Sima He-shun asked. Oh, I'll go alone. Sima Yue shook her head. Those people know my father and some of them have grudges against each other. He won't be able to clear them up if he goes. If anything happens to Gu Nianji, I won't be able to take action. Was this fellow planning to destroy their nest? Cough cough, for some things it's better to find the person involved. It's not the family's fault. Sima He-shun reminded. I know. Sima Yue said, if the family is not involved in this matter, I won't kill the innocent. I'm not a bloodthirsty person. Yue has always done things appropriately. Old man, you love to talk too much. Sima Ji Yuan snorted, although you have the phone people by your side, you should bring some of the cloud guards with you. Have fun when you're out. We'll investigate the other things. If there's any news, we'll pass it to you. Sima Yue felt Sima Ji Yuan's protection. The corners of her mouth rose and she replied, okay. After leaving the interrogation place, she went to find Sima Lu Xian and told him that she was leaving. I'll go with you. Sima Lu Xian requested without thinking. Father, great-grandfather said that he wants you to investigate the undead and the black-robed men. Sima Yue said, those people want to kill me. If this matter isn't solved, I'll be watched wherever I go. Thinking that someone wants to kill me all the time, this feeling? Okay. I'll investigate. But you have to promise me that if you go to the ghost realm, you must bring me along. Sima Lu Xian patted her head. Okay. Don't worry, the person mother wants to see the most is you. How can I not bring you along? Sima Yue smiled and ran away. This girl? Sima Lu Xian smiled. If she wants to do it, then do it. Young master, what does young miss want to do? The servant behind Sima Lu Xian asked. Didn't you say that the people invited this time were from the Yuan family? At that time, I also suspected that young Miss Yuan poisoned Kaluo. If she just went like this, I wouldn't think anything. But if she doesn't let me go now, I'm afraid that this girl... Sima Lu Xian's eyes were filled with affection. But she can do whatever she wants. Get someone to keep an eye on her. If there's anything, immediately pass it back. As long as it doesn't endanger her life, let her play as she pleases. He had to say that no one knew his son better than his father. Yes, young master. The servant replied from behind. She's right. If the undead and the black-robed men's matter is not solved, she won't be safe. You go and do your work. I'll go and discuss with Feng Zhixing. Sima Lu Xian disappeared after he finished speaking. Chapter 1687. For the sake of convenience, Sima Yue placed all the members of the Cloud Guards in the little realm and set off alone. That day she had opened her little world in front of everyone's eyes. Now, everyone knew that she had a little world and there were experts in the little world. Seeing that she was alone, no one dared to bully her. The spaceship heading to the 5th continent was in another city. When Sima Yue took the teleportation array there, she happened to meet the spaceship that would be coming over that day. This place was not very far from Chongzhou City. Sima Yue's name had already spread throughout this place. When everyone saw her, they would greet her warmly. That enthusiasm made even the maids on the spatial ship look at her a few more times. Sima Yue was at the back of the group. She saw that the people in front of her were all given 20,000 upper-grade crystals each. When it was her turn, she also took out 20,000 crystals and handed it to the maid in exchange for a sect. Are you Sima Yue? The servant girl suddenly asked after she received the sect. Yes. What's the matter? Sima Yue stopped. I'm fine. It's just that I've heard about your deeds recently and I'm a little curious. The maid replied. Sima Yue nodded at her and went to her room. Every room here would have a clean bed, but she still took out her own small couch and placed it on the ground. Then she laid down on it and touched the devil's snare bracelet on her left wrist with her right hand. This guy hasn't sent back any news for a long time. I wonder how the situation is in the devil realm. Feng said that the demon realm is also in chaos right now. Sai, this guy's situation is definitely not optimistic. Otherwise he would have sent me a message. Her heart sank slightly. I wonder if I can find him in the demon realm. You want to go to the devil realm? What was the demon realm like? When are we going to the demon world? Little Lucky was lying on top of her head and playing with her hair. When he heard her say this, he asked curiously. I'm just thinking about it now. If even Lingyu couldn't handle it with my strength, I would only be a burden. Sima Yue said, and if we go there without contacting them, not only will we not be able to find them, we might even lose our lives there. Besides, I can't leave now. But you miss him a lot. Little Lucky stared at her with his round eyes. Since the matter of the undead hasn't been resolved, I can leave without worry. Sima Yue sighed. Mother's matter hasn't been settled yet. If I stay here for too long she will suffer more over there. I'm more worried that father and the others won't be able to wait and will run to the ghost realm by themselves. You worry too much. Xiaoxi tugged at her hair. You're so tired. It's much better now. There aren't as many things as before. These things should be dealt with one by one. Right now the most important thing is to take revenge for my mother. If those people hadn't poisoned my mother and made me consume their spiritual power when I was born, they wouldn't have been so passive. Well, those who covet Uncle Lucien are all bad people. Little Lucky will help you beat up the bad guys. Little Lucky said as he patted his chest. Sima Yue reached out and poked Little Lucky's head. Your father has been so busy recently. Don't you want to go back and share his burden? Father has so many people by his side. Now he's found so many spirit beasts of the same generation. He doesn't need me. It's more fun for me to follow you. Little Lucky wasn't interested in ancient spirit beasts and didn't plan on taking over his father's job in the future, so he didn't want to go back at all. Sima Yue smiled and didn't rush him. He was still young anyway. It didn't matter if he didn't participate in those things now. I want to eat spirit fruits. Little Lucky let go of her hair and climbed onto her stomach. Sima Yue took out a plate of spirit fruits and he carried it to the side to eat. Seeing him eat the spirit fruits without any worries, she smiled faintly. This smile was filled with affection, helplessness, and a little worry. After that, she spent most of her time in the house and rarely went outside. Until someone knocked on her door. She was reading in the house and felt a little strange when she heard the knock on the door. Why was there someone looking for her now? She put down her book and opened the door. When she saw the person standing outside, she was stunned. It's you? Yin Susu smiled at her and said, I heard that you were here, so I came over. I didn't disturb you, did I? No, you didn't. Please come in. Sima Yue moved to the side to let Yin Susu in. Yin Susu smiled and entered the house. When she saw the book on the table, she said, Were you reading just now? Yes. Sima Yue closed the door and poured her a cup of tea. Miss Yin, why are you here? You and my uncle call each other brother and sister. You're one generation older than me. You can just call me Susu. I'll call you Yue. How about that? Yin Susu asked. Of course. Sima Yue agreed. How is Yin Lang now? How else can he be? He's the same as always. He's holed up in Tangerine City. His family wants him to go back, but he won't even meet them. His family can't do anything about it. Yin Susu's voice was filled with helplessness when she talked about her willful uncle. Oh right, are you going to the fifth state to attend the Yuan family's invitation? Yes. You too? I'm not. I just happen to have something to do in the fifth state so I can go with you. Yin Susu said, the Yuan family loves to hold these kinds of gatherings. It's so boring. If you feel bored you can come find me. You don't seem to like the Yuan family? Sima Yue asked. Yin Susu didn't expect her to notice it so quickly. She smiled a little embarrassedly and said, the Yuan family is all right. I just don't like the young ladies of the Yuan family. What's wrong with those young ladies? They're just arrogant and look down on others. They like to suppress those who are lower in status than them. When they see those who are more talented than them, they get so angry that their noses become crooked. They're like peacocks all day and like to have a bunch of men around them. Yin Susu was familiar with Sima Yue, so she spoke more casually. PFF. Sima Yue laughed. They bullied you too. Not really. Although my family is in the 49th state, our status is about the same as theirs. They don't dare to bully me. I've only met them a few times. Yin Susu said, speaking of which, the eldest of them even had fantasies about your father. Really? Yes, I was there at that time too. I happened to see her pestering your father. This young lady Yuan usually looks cold and aloof, as if she's different from her sisters. However, she's still the same deep down. I heard that she had a good relationship with your mother. However, when something happened to them, she didn't even go to see them, much less help. Yin Susu said. Sima Yue was shocked. She didn't expect Yin Susu to know about her parents. Susu, what else do you know? Can you tell me? Chapter 1688. Sima Yue thought that Yin Susu would know a lot of things, but she shook her head and said, I only know this because I happened to see them. However, I didn't like the Yuan family so I didn't pay attention to them. This time, I heard that you were going to the Yuan clan. Thinking about how you saved my life last time, I decided to give you a heads up. Sima Yue was a little disappointed, but she soon recovered and chatted with In Susu about other things. Half an hour later, In Susu stood up to leave. Before she left, she took out a jade pendant and placed it in Sima Yue's hand. This is the symbol of our In family. If you encounter any difficulties in the fifth state, you can use this to find our people. If you need anything, you can ask them to do it. In Susu said. Sima Yue wanted to reject the gift. She wasn't close to In Susu, so it wasn't appropriate for her to accept the gift. I know you have the Shenyuan Pavilion behind you, but the Shenyuan Pavilion may not be able to help you all the time. Who knows, it might come in handy when we miss something. In Susu opened the door and left before Sima Yue could refuse. Sima Yue lowered her head and looked at the jade pendant in her hand. She sighed, kept it, and went to lock the door. The reason why In Su had always told him these things and left him such an escape route was because he had saved her and some of the In family's people back then. For people like them, even if they owed someone a favor, they wouldn't bite the hand that fed them like Eastern Lily. However, he didn't like owing people either. If accepting it could make her feel at ease, then he would accept it. In the following days, In Susu did not come to Sima Yue again. Sima Yue was also happy to be idle. She read in her room until a maid came to inform her that she had arrived. She packed her things and went out. She found that many people were already waiting on the deck. She looked around and didn't see In Susu. Miss, she has already disembarked from the ship. The maid seemed to understand what she was thinking and said. Sima Yue was shocked and asked, "This spatial ship belongs to the Yin family?" "Yes." The maid smiled and said, "Young Miss has instructed that in the future, you don't have to pay to ride the spatial ship." With that, she returned the money she had taken from her. Sima Yue finally understood. No wonder In Susu knew that she was on the boat after she came up. It turned out that this belonged to her family. The spatial ship that In Lang had helped him to comprehend previously also belonged to the Yin clan. This one was also from the Yin clan. This Yin clan was indeed powerful and wealthy. He handed over the door plate and got off the spatial ship. He didn't know anyone around him, so he bought a map of the 5th prefecture at the exit. Although the map was a little expensive, the topography and cities of the 5th state were marked very clearly. There were also some introductions of the forces next to it. Sima Yue looked at the map and recalled the detailed map in her mind. She couldn't help but think of Tua Xiaogong. He said that the map would be useful in the future, but he also seemed to be saying that she would not return to the Lost Lands. She didn't understand what he meant. If she couldn't figure it out, she wouldn't dwell on it. This was her usual style. She believed that everything would work out when the time came. She didn't know now because the time wasn't right. Curiosity killed the cat. This thought of hers had more or less saved her life several times. She found a quiet place to study the map. She knew that the Yuan clan wasn't far from here. If they used the teleportation array, they would arrive in 2 days. However, the Yuan clan was very cautious. The Kangmar city they were in didn't have a teleportation array. They could only go to a nearby city and go there by themselves. This Yuan clan probably has a lot of enemies. That's why they don't even dare to use the teleportation array. They are afraid that someone will kill their way to the back of their nest. Sima Yue knew that Big Miss Yuan might have poisoned Yukuluo and pestered her father. Her impression of the Yuan clan wasn't good. After knowing the route, she kept the map. She planned to use the teleportation array to get to the vicinity before slowly going there. Anyway, it was still early. She wasn't in a hurry. The city closest to Kangmar City was called Fulai City. It was said that Fulai City was a subsidiary city of Kangmar City. The forces inside all looked up to the Yuan clan. It was similar to how the Guo clan relied on the Tao clan. She went to the Spirit Master Guild and wanted to use the teleportation array. Before she even entered the door, she heard a loud cry. "Woo woo, all of you get lost. Don't touch me." Woo woo, this voice sounded very young. It was probably around 10 years old. However, it was definitely an arrogant and despotic person. "What are you looking at? Look again and I'll let Big Sister dig out your eyes." The child glared at the surrounding people and said fiercely. Sima Yue glanced over and saw a little girl wearing a fan skirt. Her hair was tied in 2 buns. She was sitting on the side of the road. Her eyes were hazy with tears as she stared at the people present. Unfortunately, this person wasn't cute at all. That pair of eyes destroyed her aura. A man recognized the girl. He stepped forward and said, Why are you here alone? Where are your big sister and the others?" Big sister and the others ran away. Shi said. Big brother Mui couldn't catch up to them. Woo woo woo, Mui saw that she was crying so hard. He stepped forward and sat beside her. He softly coaxed her. His subordinates immediately dismissed the onlookers around them. You said that your big sister and the others ran away? How could they run away? It seems that they saw an old enemy and chased after them. She cried. You guys go and find the Yuan clan's young ladies. When you find them, tell them that she is waiting for them here. Mui ordered his subordinates. Sima Yue was about to enter the Spirit Master Guild when her footsteps stopped. She changed direction and walked towards the opposite tea house. She chose a private room facing the street. When she opened the window, she could see the Spirit Master Guild's entrance and the little girl on the side. The subordinates received the order and immediately left. Soon they disappeared from the street. After a while, a group of girls ran over. When they saw Yuan Shi, they quickened their pace. Shi, are you okay? The leading girl hugged Yuan Shi. Second sister, third sister, where did you go? Why did you leave Shi here alone? Woo woo woo, Yuan Shi loudly complained. It's all because of our negligence. I thought that your third sister would take you. Your third sister thought that you would follow us. I didn't think that you would be here alone. Alright, don't cry. The second daughter of the Yuan clan, Yuan Li, comforted Yuan Shi. That's right. Shi, don't cry. When we go back, I'll let 18th brother give you his ancient contract beast to play with. How about that? The third daughter of the Yuan clan, Yuan Qing, hugged Yuan Shi and comforted her. Second Miss, third Mississippi, Mui bowed to the two. Many thanks to young Master Mui for sending people to find us. Otherwise, I don't know how long Shia would have stayed here. Yuan Qing said politely. I just happened to come out. I didn't expect to meet Shi. I'm going to Kongmar City. Do you want to come with me? Yuan Lili shook her head. We haven't caught that slut yet. Now she's in the city. We'll go back after we catch her. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.